Okay, now the little thingy is moving, and I'm gonna start a streaming back over there. All right, that should fix that. As if you join over on YouTube, please let me know if I got this thing working now. All right, I'll wait and see if some people join me over there. Wait. I don't trust it. I'm not sure. I'm like, wait, is it really working? I want the live chat. I swear this is going to be the end of me. I think it's just showing me the old one. Can anybody go to my YouTube and tell me if I'm good? I am. It's good over there, Silly Goose. Thank you, because it won't show me. It won't show me the. Oh, there we go. I finally got to go into my own live stream. Okay. Everything is good now, you guys. What? We're a half hour into the show. No, we're not. We're only about 15 minutes, and I was late this morning anyway. Silly Goose, welcome in. Mr. Curtis, welcome in. Oh, my God. Mr. Curtis, I am such a fan of your work. You're amazing. All right. I want to talk about, we'll just start talking, and I'm sure that eventually hey, Shadow, a Christian will hear the name of Yahweh eventually 3 times, and they'll show up. I'm sure of it.
We say enough things that offend them, someone will come up and fight for Christ.
Right. They'll be like, wait, I'm scrolling through. What did that lady just say? You know, I almost like want to just, yay, you can hear me now. Yay. Thank you, everybody over on YouTube. I appreciate you. If you're not following me on YouTube, please do so. I am CrystalJae, Jae, over on YouTube. But what are some of the most, like, as a Christian, I think this is what I want to ask is, as a Christian, did it already bother you as a woman the way God treated women in the Bible, or wasn't it until you deconstructed that you saw
that? One more time, I'm sorry.
When you were a Christian, were there things about the way women were treated in the Bible that bothered you, or did that not happen until after you deconstructed?
It was after I deconstructed, but only because I was never big on reading the Bible. So I really didn't know a whole lot about what happened in it.
Okay. Because as a Christian, it always bothered me. But I just listen to apologetics and men. Frankly, men are the one who write the apologetics too. Funny enough.
Of course.
And even as a child, I thought so many things were so unfair, and it bothered me at a really young age. But again, I would allow, apologetics and excuses to I don't want to say satisfy, but to temporarily, temporarily ease my concerns, if you will. But,
well, you were, especially you were raised into it. So you were, conditioned and brainwashed from, the jump that this is how it's done and don't do it any other way.
Yeah, absolutely. I also would get mixed signals because, hey, Brad, good to see you. Mama Bash, shout out all of y'all. Welcome in. I remember the story of Adam and Eve, and I remember feeling very angry that even as a child, I remember thinking, why am I getting punished for something they did? I wasn't there. Nobody asked me, nobody left me alone with that tree to see if I would do it. And then I was mad because they like blamed Eve throughout the whole Bible, and I was like, wasn't Adam standing there?
Yeah.
And how come Adam never really gets in trouble? And then when you read his actual punishment, if you really pay attention, while yes, he has to toil the ground to get food, which they don't anymore, do they?
Right.
To our men. They also are punished to eat what they toil. Oh, so you ate fruit, and your punishment is to eat fruit.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fucking wild. Ooh, oh, you poor man. I see. Oh, I'm sorry.
Got it rough. Yeah, I will say that is one of the things that I did think about beforehand is like, why do we get the raw end of the deal? Like, we didn't do all of that, and now we have these pains and this like suffering, and it's one-sided. And then after deconstructing and learning more about it, it was just kind of like, wait, so he knew what the rules were and he did it anyway, and yet Eve was the one that was like getting the heat for it.
Yeah.
It really doesn't track.
It doesn't track at all. It's wild, you know? And so says to the woman, he said, I will greatly increase your pangs in childbearing. First of all, what the fuck does that mean? She's never had a baby before. How are you increasing her pangs if she's never had pangs? Like, the story never makes sense. When you really read these stories, none of any of it makes sense at all, okay? You're having something increase that she's never, ever felt before in her life, okay?
And already, if he is like the one that's designing everything, why did he make it that way? Why did we have to have pain at all?
Right? It's so ridiculous. In pain you shall bring forth children, yet your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you. So here's what's going to happen. You disobeyed me, and now, even though you know how much pain it is to give birth to children, you're still gonna want the D, okay? God say it here. You're still gonna be going for that D, girl. And then he says, and you're gonna desire that man even if you don't want to, but it's just not true. There are so many women who don't desire men at all. Mm-hmm. They don't.
Yep.
You know, and there are many women who are cis, but don't desire their husband because he's a piece of shit who abuses her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and she doesn't desire him. She's just stuck.
Or want it at all, like their situation, the man.
Yeah.
But the other thing I was thinking as you were talking about it is, what was the plan to start with? Like, are we supposed to believe that Adam was not already going to be in control or like have dominion over Eve too? Like, she wasn't going to be subjugated?
Right? Like, what are you talking about? Like, and the husband will rule over you? Bitch, you know damn well that was always the plan. Don't play.
Exactly. You made her from him as a secondary character.
As a secondary thought, you literally brought him every animal on earth to fuck before you made her.
Exactly. But
we were so low on the totem pole that slugs were made before us.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But that's it. If you really start thinking about it critically, then you do see these things pop up. But that's exactly why you're not supposed to. Don't think about it. Lean not on your understanding. Just take the words, take what works for you from the words, and then just move forward.
Absolutely. And then we move on into these men who married these very young girls, and I don't really fucking care how old they were. Like, you can't fucking tell me that any of these women were adults. We're not even going to discuss whether they were adults. Whether they were 3 or whether they were 12 or whether they were 15, none of these mothers of the Bible, Abraham's wife or Isaac or any of them, they're all young girls.
Mm-hmm.
And they treat them like property. They are not revered. They are used to gain wealth by sleeping with their own half sisters and then lying to the Abimelech and
tools.
Yeah, they're just tools. They're just tools. And the children
and the other
too.
thing too. Yeah, the children too. But I was just gonna say, also in the way of like, here, I'm giving you my child. Now, what do I get out of it? They were property in that way too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And then, like, let's look at Hagar. God damn, Hagar. Like, I was taught as a Christian that Hagar was this horrible person and that Sarah was a good person and that Sarah was loving and good and she is the mother of all of us and that I should revere her. And when you read that story, Sarah is a fucking horrible person and Hagar is a slave who just wants to be fucking left alone, you know?
I know. Even to the point of like, so you got what you wanted, you got your own biological child and you just couldn't, like, you weren't happy with that. You were still bitter enough that you had to exile them. Yeah. She was,
let's read a little bit about Hagar and how her and Ishmael were sent away. This is going to be found in Genesis 21, and we're going to start verse 8. The child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast on the day. Okay, let me tell you who Hagar is in case you're just tuning in and in case you don't know. Hagar is a Egyptian slave that belongs to Abraham and Sarah. Well, belongs to Sarah, really. It's her personal slave. And she gives Hagar to Abraham to bear him a child. Because we can just give people to people for sex.
Exactly. And not even just that, horrible. But for like to get pregnant too, for that matter.
Yeah. Yeah. And take away her child. Because they're going to take it. It's not going to be hers. So here we go. The child grew. So this is Hagar at least got to raise her child, which a lot of slaves don't get that opportunity. They get their children just taken away from them and given to other people to be their little toys. Okay, the child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast on the day that Isaac was weaned. But Sarah saw that the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, whom she had borne to Abraham, playing with her son Isaac. So she said to Abraham, cast this slave woman with her son, for the son of this slave woman shall not inherit along with my son Isaac. The matter was very distressing to Abraham on account of his son. But God said to Abraham, do not be distressed because of the boy and because of your slave woman. Whatever Sarah says to you, do as she tells you, for it is through Isaac that offspring shall be named for you. As for the son of the slave woman, I will make a nation of him, because he is your offspring. So Abraham rose early in the morning and took bread and a skin of water and gave it to Hagar, putting it on her shoulder along with the child, and sent her away. And she departed and wandered about in the wilderness of Beersheba. This God is not safe for women and children.
Yeah, because it didn't, again, the person who's in control of the design of everything, it did not have to be that way. He could have said, no, you're in charge of Sarah. Tell her this is how it's going to go. Or like, let me set them up nice if, this is how it's going to be. Nope. it was, yeah, go ahead, kick them to the curb. It'll work out eventually, but, you know, just let them suffer for a little bit.
We'll read on so you guys can find out what happened to. Don't mean to leave you hanging, but it just is disgusting. Anyway, when the water of the skin was gone, she cast the child under one of the bushes. Then she went and sat down opposite him a good way, about the distance of a bow shot. For she said, "Do not let me look on the death of my child." And she sat opposite him. She lifted up her voice and wept. And God heard the voice of the boy. And the angel of God called to Hagar from heaven and said to her, "What troubles you, Hagar? Do not be afraid, for God has heard the voice of the boy where he is. Come, lift up the boy and hold him fast with your hand, for I will make a great nation of him." Then God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. She went and filled the skin with water and gave the boy a drink. Just for a little fun tidbit of information, in the Old Testament, whenever, hey Kate, thank you. Whenever you see a well, there's going to be a wedding or a marriage, okay? So the very next verse says, God was with the boy and he grew up. He lived in the wilderness and became an expert with the bow. He lived in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother got a wife for him from the land of Egypt. So anytime you see the island, not from, it's an archetype.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. That's cool, right?
Yeah. So that's your reward. Hi.
I want to look up something, because there's a reason why they keep talking about being an archer, and I can't remember what it is, so I'm going to look that up. How are you? I'm over it.
I'm making it today. It's one of those fuck around and find out moments. I'm serious. Like, I'm like, holy fuck. Like, there's a level of people that just want to fuck around today.
Yes, you know.
Bring them over here.
Yeah.
I know,
right? Okay, I'm looking something up. You two talk amongst yourself.
So what do you think about the background that Abrahamic God is not safe for women or children?
You know what? I don't even know the Old Testament. I'm going to be honest with you. And when I was on live with Truss, he actually, I think he's read the whole Bible, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
Has he? So anyway, I kind of was dabbling into it when he asked me. He says, okay, when you look this up, look this whole chapter up. And so I started reading a little bit of it. And then he asked me about, or he was talking about, what was it? He always brings up 21:7 in Exodus is one of his favorite things to bring up, which I totally understand, because Christians can't, they always want to wreck shit. That's how I'm just going to nicely put it, because they can't answer the question, which is wild to me.
Hey, Benny, how are you today?
Hey, I am doing all right. I saw the prompt, and I am neither a woman nor a child, so I figured I'd come up.
Yes.
I love you. But so I looked up a little bit more about Hagar and her son, or whatever. Hagar's son Ishmael became the ancestor of a large group of nomadic people who described the dwelling in the desert regions around Arabia.
Oh, what are we talking about?
Ishmael, who does he become? Like his people, who are they?
Oh, Ishmael.
But you know what's currently bothering me about that is, like, Christians have this whole like persecution thing where it's like, oh, you have to go through hard things to get rewarded. But it's like, again, I go back to God being the design of it all. No, you don't have to do anything. He's choosing for it to be that way. So it's like this glorification of suffering.
Isn't that
No.
thing of Hagar and who that Sarai or Sarah?
Yes. Yeah,
That,
that's what we're talking about.
and then she became some single mother because the Sarah, if I can remember, I threw my Bible away. How the fuck do I remember this shit?
Were you just saying you don't know the Old Testament as you like to call it
I know,
by memory?
it's wild to me because Trust like started asking me questions about the Old Testament because I told him I hadn't read it, and then he was the one that got me into reading it.
Yeah, I think it's a better place to start, honestly, than like going New Testament, because like if you're deconstructing, I think going Old Testament and then reading New Testament after that, it just makes way more sense.
Well, I'll tell you what, I threw my Bibles away over the weekend. This whole thing, I don't know, Benny, is that your name?
Yeah.
I had
Benny.
to put my glasses on because I'm like, I can't see my fucking screen. But anyway, I don't know if
Benny
you go to Trust.
is the owner of the Deconstruction Junction Discord server. That's
You
his
are?
business. Yeah.
Nice. Because I just got invited to that on, I think it was YouTube. You guys have a YouTube deal.
Yep.
Which is awesome. And so anyway, I just
Ty, here they are.
deconstructed over the weekend, and it sent me into a mental hospital. In fact, yeah, I'm here for a week and a half. And I was on the phone with Trust because I had to call 988 the night before, and there was a police officer that came to my house and says, "You're having a mental breakdown, you need some help." And so they got a van, and as I'm trying to process all of this, I got on the connection with Trust, and he was willing to, he's my adopted dad now. He was willing to stay on with me until the van came to get, he's so grateful
sweet.
for
I
him.
love him. I
Great
love him,
person.
seriously.
And then
He's just the nicest guy.
it was just so nice, and it just made the process a little bit easier to deal with because I was really fucking scared. I had no idea that Christians had me so in this cult for 10 fucking years because they told me to pray more. They told me to read my Bible. They refused me to have a therapist. And it got to the point where I wasn't taking care of myself. I was not being a good parent. It left me disheveled and very disoriented and lost.
Well, and so like, first off, you're not alone. You know, you're like, especially if you stick around these kinds of lives, we'll always be around. But you're right. Like, even Jesus, I think there's like in the New Testament, there's like the cure for anxiety, and pretty much it's just like deal with it or like toughen up.
Well, like I asked these people on live today, I said, how do you physically have evidence that Jesus can heal or God can heal? I know because I can feel it. Or I said, you know what? I was asking Jesus to heal me for 10 fucking years, 10 fucking years. And I almost lost my life over it.
Yeah, and then they'll say things like, "Oh, well, you just didn't believe enough."
Yeah, or I didn't pray hard enough, or I didn't read hard enough.
You weren't sincere enough, yeah.
Yeah, and I have like 5 therapies that I go to now. I have an anger management, I have an EDMR therapy that I go to. I have all of these different therapies, and now I'm on medication because Christians fucked me up.
And they did that because of the Abrahamic God who is not safe for women or children who eventually become adults.
That's right.
I'm like, how the fuck
you
did I
guys,
get here?
I do want to get back on topic, but I'm over it. I'm really glad you're here, and I'm really glad you're safe now. I'm going to drop you back down in comments so we can get back on topic, but thanks so much for being here.
Oh,
And,
what are you doing?
hey,
I don't even know what the hell you do.
you don't know what I do?
No,
She's trying to have
what are
conversations.
your lives?
Oh, I talk to Christians about different topics. And so I'm looking to
kinda
talk
like
to
Trust?
Christians who are, Yeah, exactly. Like trust.
Okay,
And
I'm
today I'm
going
going
to
to talk to
then before my next
All right,
appointment.
awesome. And you guys make sure you follow I'm Over It. She has also been going live, and they're great. So make sure you follow her. Thank you for being here. You have a great day.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Benny, we were talking about Hagar. I did see the comment about the Arabian
The
people.
Arabs.
You are right.
Yeah.
And
That's the Ishmaelites. Ishmaelites
Yeah.
are the Muslim kind of
Right.
like they're descendants of the Ishmaelites.
Oh, okay. And the archery symbolizes the desert dweller, the hunter, and the warrior, emphasizing survival and independence, and not a random detail, but part of his identity and his people's identity. So there we go. But,
Wait. Say
yeah,
that again. The archer thing?
That's
Is that what you were
it says.
saying?
Yeah, it symbolizes his independence, desert dwelling, hunter.
Yeah, I remember Bert saying something about that a while back when we were like
I feel
reading
like
this
it
in Bible study.
And I didn't write it down, and it made me mad. I must have been reading in a different Bible that day, because normally I write his little notes down in my Bible. I remembered it too.
Yeah, it was like back in the day, so.
Yeah, it was back a little while ago. So we're kind of just going through different Bible stories right now while we wait for Christians. And if you're a Christian or a believer of the God of the Bible, we're talking today about how the Abrahamic God is just not safe for women or children. And no, I'm not trying to be edgy or anything like that. I know Christian came in the comments and was like, ooh, edgy topic. I'm not trying to be edgy. I really feel this way, and I'd like to talk about it with people. I'd like to know like why people feel like I was always raised to believe that Jesus was like a big cuddly bear, and that one I was gonna be able to just sit up in his lap, and he was gonna hold me and take all my fears away. And then the more I read about this God and who he claims to be, which is Yahweh, the more I see that he's never ever tried to come to us like in anything but power and fear. If it's not fear, it's power. Like, you can't see me, you can't, like, I'm so bright, it would blind you. Well, if you're God, fucking make yourself not so bright so I can fucking see you. What are you talking about? Be cuddly for me. Make yourself you're always telling women how to present themselves. Hey, God, here's how you should present yourself. More loving and cuddly and less scary and less, all of that. Plus, you should treat women and children better in your stories. You don't
Jesus too. You mentioned Jesus, and I go right back to the lady who he called a dog. Like, had she not demeaned herself, would her child have died?
Smile unalive, I'm sorry. It's so much prettier, God, when you smile. That's it. So we're just looking at different stories, Benny, and any story that comes to mind is fine. I just happen to be turning through Genesis and looking at some of my tabs that I got from the Justin Deconstruction Zone cheat sheet. If you follow him or as a paid subscriber, you get access to an amazing cheat sheet. And as I was doing that, I was like, here's another place where God's just like a dick to women and children. Here's another one. We can go to Leviticus and look at how we're just slaves because we're just properties to our daddies. That's always a good one.
Or cool. I mean, I don't know if you have like an order that you want to do this, so let me know. But
I don't care. Tell me anyway.
Okay. Well, now I'm thinking of the one where who was it? Was it the Amalekites? Who was it that they went and God was like, take all the women and have your way with them or what have you?
It's either Amalekites or the Moabites. I can't remember.
Yeah, so another instance where this God is not safe for women or children, because you can't tell me that some of those women that were taken as a reward were not children.
Well, yeah, I mean, they had to be pure. So, like, they were most definitely young. I think it even says, like, and for the young women that do not know men, or that have not known a man, or something like that. So it's pretty much saying, like, yeah, you know, they're of age to copulate.
Let's turn to it. Let's turn to I think it's Deuteronomy 25:17 through 19, where we get some orders here. I want to highlight it because I don't have this highlighted yet. In this is now my tabbed, highlighted, note-taking Bible. Now, I want you guys to remember, and I want you guys to be cognizant of this. The reason God hated the Amalekites is because they were descendants of Esau. And he hated Esau before he was born. So he literally hated these people before they were ever born. Ahmed, hi, how are you? Are you over 18? And do you worship the Abrahamic God?
Yes, I'm 38, and yes, I do.
Are you Christian, Muslim, or Jewish?
Christian.
All right. So we're talking today about all the times where God's just doesn't feel safe for women and children. And we were just now going to look at the Amalekite story. Are you familiar with that story?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want to start with is, so Amalek is a descendant of Esau. So God did not like Esau, and he never liked any of the Amalekites after that. We're going to turn to, like I said, Deuteronomy chapter 25, and we're going to start in verse 17. Remember what Amalek did to you on your journey out of Egypt. What Amalek had done was the Israelites were wanting to go through their land, through the Amalekites' land, and the Amalekites prevented them. Because that's what you do at your borders, right? You stop people from invading your borders, right? So that's all they did. And then God had the Israelites do this thing where they made like Abraham, like have his arms held up by somebody, and every time his arms were held up, they started winning, and every time his arms drooped, they started losing. But eventually they won. They kicked the Amalekites' ass. So here we go in Deuteronomy 25:17. This is much later. Remember what Amalek did to you on your journey out of Egypt? How he attacked you on the way when you were faint and weary and struck down, all who lagged behind you? He did not fear God. Therefore, when the Lord your God has given you rest from all your enemies on every hand in the land that the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance to possess, you shall blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Do not forget. So he wants them to commit a genocide on these people 400 years after they tried going through the Amalekites' territory, and the Amalekites stood up for themselves. Now let me go find the next section.
Right? You said they ended up losing.
Yeah, the Amalekites lost, and he's still mad about it. It wasn't enough. He wants them all. He wants every single one of them.
But he holds no grudges. He holds no grudges.
So we're going to go to 1 Samuel 15:2 and 3. 1 Samuel is, so you go Deuteronomy, Joshua, and then 1 Samuel. We're going to go 15:2 and 3. Well, we'll just start 1. I don't know why it said 2. Samuel said to Saul, "The Lord sent me to anoint you king over his people Israel. Now, therefore, listen to the words of the Lord. Thus says the Lord of hosts, I will punish the Amalekites for what they did in opposing the Israelites when they came up out of Egypt. Now go and attack Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have. Do not spare them, but kill both man and woman, child and infant, ox and sheep, camel and donkey."
Sounds like they pissed off God.
So that makes what ensues okay.
Which is why it's okay for people to come up here and mock a God that's gonna send you to hell anyway. Like,
I'm not
how
mocking
smart is
him by
that?
talking to people, Ahmed. Why do you think that talking about your God is mocking him?
Because you're basically on the side with Satan. You're trying to make God seem like the bad person when clearly humans and Satan is the one who did these things, and you're wondering why
God
God
did
allowed it.
this. God did
You're wondering
this.
why God allowed it. Yeah,
God
because
did
basically
this.
you're gonna go to hell just for being online mocking God all day. That's crazy.
Ahmed, there is.
We
Ahmed, I'm
mocking
not
And for
God.
you to
mocking
say it's
God
not
by
a
talking
hell,
about him.
but
How do
you're
you
gonna say
bring
it's
a
not a hell.
non-believer to belief? How do you bring a non-believer to belief if all you do is ever show anger and animosity towards us when we're asking honest questions? I'm
You can
not being
ask the
mean.
honest
I
question.
haven't said.
I'm
I
being
am.
honest and telling
I'm
you
asking about
what
the
God is gonna
Amalekites.
do.
So you
I'm
don't
not
want to have a
God, so I wouldn't know.
conversation?
I didn't live in. I'm conversating and I'm telling
No,
you
you're not. You're
what you're
just telling me I'm
asking.
gonna go to hell. And that's
Yeah,
not
you know it.
conversating. That's not
You
helpful.
know it. That's why you people are convincing yourself every day of something that you don't believe in, but you're reading a Bible that you know nothing about because you have no spirit of God. You have no Holy Spirit. So you don't understand the Bible. You're just
I
wondering
have,
how all these things went on and God allowed it. The same reason why you're in the
and you've
last
got no
days.
answers because your God is
I
fake and you're a
can't finish
lukewarm
because
Christian and you're a
no.
misogynist. Yeah.
No, you're
Yeah.
running from the
Yes.
truth, and that's why
You
you don't want
haven't
me to
brought
speak.
anything. I'm literally talking about the Amalekites. You've said zero about it.
And
Who
it's
cares
I'm not
about the
because
running.
Amalekites?
Pumpkin,
Y'all people
I'm
are
right
going
here,
to
Pumpkin. Let me
hell.
make this crystal clear. I'm right here, Pumpkin. I want to talk about it. I'm asking you honest questions. I'm telling you, I want to understand this story. And all you've done is tell me that I'm mocking God by
I don't know
asking
nothing about
questions
this
and that
story.
I'm
All
going to
I know
hell. I
is,
know you don't because you don't
all
know
I
your
know
Bible, but you
is you're
came up here
going
to
to.
accuse me of not knowing my Bible. I know my
I
Bible.
know
I
God.
read the Bible. You don't, and you're going to go to
You
hell.
don't
He's going
know
to
God. That's why
spew
you're
you
running,
out of his mouth because you're a
running
lukewarm
to
Christian.
hell. All you're
I think
doing is
you're afraid
dashing
of
to
hell,
hell.
and you're trying to push your fear onto me.
It don't have
You're
to be fear.
projecting
It's
all that
thousands of.
fear. I'm not afraid of your God. He's not real. He doesn't exist, and there's no
What
hell that
Satan wants you
exists
to believe.
either.
That's
Yeah,
what
I
Satan
know.
wants you to
That's what
believe.
Satan wants you to believe.
Ahmed,
That's
I have a
how
question
you
though. I have a
know.
question for you.
I'm listening.
So you surmised that our goal is to mock God because we are reading the Bible and discussing the treatment of God to the different nations and women and children. That means
Right.
that we're mocking it.
Right. And you
Yeah.
better search a hell testimony and wonder why humans like yourself go to hell every day.
You know what?
We're
So
If I
reading
go
was
the
search
Bible.
Satan,
that.
Ty here, if
Go
I was
search
Satan,
that.
you know what I would do? I would write a book where I would tell everybody that the evil asshole in the book is God and that but that's me really. And then the good guy is Satan.
Exactly.
I would cross those wires and trick billions of people into following me.
I really hope Seth's
They don't
not
want to think about that.
listening.
Why?
I was filling up our fish tank. I think God might be on that guy's side because my fish tank started overflowing, and because I was so wrapped up in what was being discussed, and I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta go," and then he like crashed out.
Yeah, he crashed out, and I really wanted to talk about this story with him, but immediately he crashed out. So that's wild. Hi, Jabba. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, this morning I got to work and the Lord gave me the best parking spot in the building. It was like right there and angels were singing on it and the light was shining on it. And then this afternoon I forgot about that and I wandered around the whole building looking for my car and it wasn't so good.
Okay, well,
Pray
that's
harder.
good. Yes, pray harder. Did you want to talk about the topic, or did you just come up to tell us about your parking spot?
I just wanted to tell someone about my parking spot. It's all I really
Okay.
cared about.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna move on because my parking spot's the only thing that's important to me, really.
Okay. Okay. Well, thanks for being here, Java. We appreciate you. Have a good day.
Yeah, I love you all. Bye.
Love you too. Hey, you guys, if you're a Christian or a believer in the Abrahamic God, come on up and talk to us. I want to talk to you. I'm mostly talking to Christians. I don't know a lot about Islam. I can talk about Judaism if it's based on the scripture. I can't talk about tradition and things like that, or things like that. Basically.
Yeah, the Talmudic
But-
stuff we don't really know.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I just like to be honest, but I can talk about what the scripture says and what I see in it when I read it. But we can still continue to talk about the Amalekites, right? So the Amalekites aren't the ones that say, "Do you have room for another?" Of course, come on up, Sonny. When I don't have Christians, I like having my friends up to talk. Anyway, they weren't the ones that God said to grape the daughters or whatever. Do we know which ones those were? Were those the Moabites?
If it wasn't the Amalekites, then it had to have been the Moabites. It's usually, if it's not one, it's the other.
Okay, I'm gonna look that one up too.
Because that's First Samuel 15:3 is the one that's
that's the Amalekites. That Saul defeats the Amalekites but spared the king. Story.
Gosh, I need to get back into these lives. I've been busy, losing my touch when it comes to recall. What? So what was that guy crashing out about? Because you were talking about the Amalekites. The Amalekites didn't really do
He
anything
said
other
that
than
I'm mocking God because I'm asking questions. If I'm up here asking questions, then I'm mocking God by doing that. And I said, dude, I just really want to have a conversation about this. I really do feel that this God is not safe for women or children, according to the stories. And he was just like, you're going to hell. You're going to hell.
Yeah, which, by the way, hell, please describe hell first, and then we can decide whether or not that's even a real.
Your idea of hell matches the Christian next to you as well.
Yes. Welcome to the panel, Sunny. How are you? And good morning, Schmezzo.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Hi. I'm good. How are you guys?
Wow,
Doing good.
Schmezzo in the chat. W Schmezzo.
I like the topic you have up today.
Thank you.
I like how
I
you've
have
been
another-
focusing on women and children more because the Bible likes to ignore them. So
Yeah, I've decided to lean into that. I'm leaning into it. I think that I believe that no woman should worship this God, not in any form, not in any way whatsoever. Never, ever, ever. If we start with Judaism and you look at the covenant between Abraham and God, women were specifically told to stay the fuck out of this covenant. Don't even fucking touch a woman. Don't fucking touch her before you get up here and do this covenant with me. So
yeah, and
why should any of us worship him?
yeah, and I was gonna say and they say God's their father, right? And so men like to be like their father, and so if their God is abusive, then all these men of God are gonna be abusive in the same way.
Yeah.
Preach.
Good morning.
That's the worst
Good
part about
morning,
it.
the truth. How are
Good
you
evening.
today?
Good evening. I'm going to tell you this, okay? I am
Well,
not.
first, I need to know two things. What's your religion affiliation?
I am spiritual.
Just let me know that you're over 18, please.
I am spiritual and I'm over 18.
Okay, thank you.
A spiritual person has a different kind of opinions than a religious person. There is
Yes,
a difference. A religious person believes too much in religion. A spiritual person knows just that you should believe religion only so far as it makes sense, and after that, you should stop believing it. It's the only difference.
Well, none of it makes sense for me, so should I just stop right there?
So all I can say is that I believe since women are safe on this world today and the Abrahamic God exists, he is safe.
Women are not safe in this world today, and neither are children. I don't know why you would say that. That's disturbing.
And then you will not be alive if you are not safe. You are alive, so you
No,
are
I'm
safe.
alive and safe because I got away from my husband who tried to unalive
You just
me.
said you are alive and safe right now.
Don't come up here and
You
tell
just
me
said you are
my
alive and
story.
safe right now.
Don't come up here and tell me my story, sir. I'm alive
You
and
said
safe
you are
right now
alive and safe
because
right
I
now.
kicked his ass.
You just said you are alive and safe right now.
When he tried to unalive me, I kicked
You are
his
right now alive and
ass.
safe.
And I got
Calm
away.
You are right now alive and safe. That's the point.
Because I did it, not your God. Your God is weak. He couldn't
My
save
God
me.
enabled you to do it. He gave you the strength.
Your God didn't give
Nothing
me shit.
spiritual helped her. Okay.
No. It's,
She did
it's
it herself.
Just everything spiritual
I
helped
did
her.
it all myself. Nothing spiritual.
Yeah,
helped me.
well-
I did it.
You have only hurt yourself in the end.
No.
You are single. You
No,
are.
I'm not.
You are. Oh, what are you? Are married now? Which loser married you? I would like to know which loser married you. I'd like to know which loser married
Really?
you.
What?
That is
Which
not a
loser?
loser.
Are you married to a
Which
loser right
loser?
now? I'd like to know which
No,
loser married
I'm
you.
not. I'm married to a mechanical aerospace engineer for 30 years, Pumpkin. What are you talking about?
So are you married
my,
or not?
My
married?
son
I'm just
went to
little concerned.
MIT.
Are you
What is
married or
wrong
not?
with you?
Okay, are you married or not?
I'm married.
Are you married to a wimp?
And I have been for 30
Are you married to a-
years. Dude, I don't
Are
do
you married to a wimp?
What are you talking about? My husband
think you're
doesn't go
married to
around
a
going,
wimp.
I'm not a wimp.
I think you're
because
married
he
to a
doesn't
wimp.
need to. I think
I
you've
think
got
you're
a small,
married to a wimp.
A little small peen. You got a little teeny tiny peen. So you come up on lives and try to start shouting and bringing women down because it makes your peen feel a little bigger. And then you go, are you married to a wimp? Because I got a big peen, but it's really only this big. And
You
it's
want me
really
to show you a penis?
disgusting.
Do you want me to show you my penis?
Teeny tiny
No,
peen.
you are the one who
we
is talking
don't.
about my penis. You're not talking
Yeah,
about your
because you
pussy.
keep
Why do you talk
throwing
about
it
your
around.
pussy
You're
instead
like,
of my
is
penis?
your husband a wimp?
Why do you
It sounds
talk
like
about
you're
your
into
pussy
me,
instead of
man.
my penis,
It sounds
okay?
like it sounds like you're
Why do you
trying
talk
to,
about your pussy instead of my
get with
penis?
me. It sounds
I
like
think
you're
you have a
trying
dry
to get
pussy.
with me.
How old did he say
I
he
think
was?
it's like I don't know, but he's blocked now. Bye. What the hell? Like, are
He's
you
gonna
kidding
approving
me?
your background.
Okay, don't get me wrong, Mezzo. I mean, I'm always curious, but jeez.
Check it out, Mezzo. I can't.
You know what, though? I would like to know how he's able to conflate alive with safe, or being safe in this moment with being generally safe, because
Right.
women are not safe. Just, they're not.
Women are not safe and children are not safe. We have a pedophilic epidemic, people. What are you talking about? Hi, Logic. How are you today?
Hey, oh, it's too bad he wasn't here. I wanted to have fun with that.
Oh,
Oh well.
Yeah, I would have asked him all kinds of fun little questions that I knew he would get his little small weenie in a mix. But anyways,
Oh
I'm
my
sorry you had to go through that, but it sounded like he didn't have anything, so he was grasping for straws. If he wants to come back, you should bring him back. I would love to go after him.
I blocked him, but I can unblock him, I guess. He just irritated me.
It's
It's
your-
like, are you kidding? Somebody, if you can unblock him, you guys unblock him for me.
Well,
I-
it's up
I
to
can't
you.
do
No,
it right
don't
now.
worry about it. It's funny when somebody sits around and talks about other people's, parts being small or big. It's funny. I think they're dealing with their own insecurities on that one. So that was a lot of
to be
projection.
fair to him, I did bring up his small peen because he started asking me if my husband was a wimp. And I
Yeah.
was like, the only reason you should care whether my husband is a wimp or not is if you're like gonna take him out because you want me or something. What are you doing? And then I thought, he must have a small peen if he's worried about how big or wimpy my husband is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just seemed to make sense that that's what he was worried about. But that's what they're all worried about. And when they come up, start yelling out women, they're like, I've got to prove I am manly. Good morning, Trust. How are you?
I'm good. I missed the fireworks. I I saw on my FYP and I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And I just missed it. Man, oh man, oh man.
So
Hey,
what happened
guys.
was,
Hey,
we're
Josh.
talking today about how the Abrahamic God is not safe for women or children, and he said,
Oh,
"You're
not safe.
You women are safe, and God exists. You're safe
From
right
what?
now." And I said, "I'm safe right now because
From
I
what?
kicked my attacker's ass when he tried to unalive me. That's why I'm safe right now, not because of your God, but because I kicked
Exactly.
his ass."
I guess
Yeah.
my question to him was if that's the case that supposedly his imaginary friend got you out of this situation, why didn't his imaginary friend just immediately stop it before it even started? He does know all things, correct?
Yeah, just so you know, at the time I was with my first husband, I believed in his imaginary friend, and I prayed many times to get me out of that situation, and he never ever showed up. It would be me who finally got me out of that situation, not God.
Oh, you were just supposed to wait and have patience. Yeah, you were just supposed to wait and have patience. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
rewards.
Yeah.
Well,
I
if
decided
Those are the
to
kind.
If that's
Yeah, it was your fault for not waiting. It was your fault for not waiting. Oh my God. Just
I was gonna
unbelievable.
say those people, they think that suffering makes you stronger, right? So that's why he's saying, well, you're alive. Like, it doesn't matter all the suffering you went through because it was worth it. Or, you
Hey.
have to have the suffering to have what you have now.
This isn't a fucking workout. It's not no pain, no gain. I mean,
right?
I mean, I
Yeah.
understand
It's wild.
I understand the concept. When I even tutor people and even with my kids, one of the biggest things I let them do is, and I've always advocated to them is, don't have a problem with failure. Failure is actually a good thing, because you learn from it, you adjust, you figure out things. And plus when these failures happen, you're not breaking down like if you go to college or your business or you're able at least, transition and find a way to work through the problem. So I could see that, but suffering, that's a whole different concept.
Exactly. 100%. So we tried to talk about the Amalekites earlier too, but then I got another crash out, and that guy just wanted to tell me that by asking this God at all, asking this question at all, that I am mocking God and therefore I'm going to hell. And that's all he could say. He just kept telling me over and over again. I said, I really want to have this conversation. And he was like, you don't even know the Bible because you don't have the Holy Spirit. You're mocking God. You're going to hell. So I was like, ugh. That's a boring conversation. So that one didn't last long either. I just wanted to talk about the Amalekites, but
So, needless to say, nobody's had anything worthwhile to contribute to the conversation.
no, I
it's just
have
one of them
found that
days, huh?
I've been doing these topics about women a lot. I can change the topic and we'll get Christians, but I'm trying to get some women to get their asses up here and talk to us, but women Christian won't talk to women atheists because they think we don't have anything to offer them because they've been taught that women shouldn't speak. And they believe that shit, so they won't talk to other women. They'll only come up on your lives, not my lives. But I thought maybe
I'm sorry, yeah. I wish it was different, yeah.
Would come up. But they're scared of other women. They think we're witches. Ooh.
Well, I also think that a lot of them, and just like that guy, I think they talk a game of, oh, I know A, B, and C, or he knows the Bible. But I bet that's the reason why I wanted to get him on things, because I wanted to bring up things in the Bible I know that he doesn't even know that's there, or he's going to create some ridiculous apologetic excuses for some of the evil and bad behavior that God implements in the Bible. But the problem is I would, is hold his feet to the fire. And, this is the big thing. I get really tired of Christians where I'm having my problem where I'm losing my patience and I'm cutting them off at it, is the constant dodge, deflect, changing the subject, and stupid apologetics. I am so tired of it because I realize, and I'm going to call any apologetics out there, you are a fucking waste of time. You do not get to the core of the problem. You deflect. Apologetics is deflection. That's all it is. It's not getting to the source. They just want to mess it up and then say, aha, look at me, I got you. And that's all it's about.
Your dryer is done.
Sorry.
Your dryer is done.
I know
Okay?
my
it told me to. I'm just kidding.
I'm being domestic.
Mezzo says he only gets the women to come up when he's 1v1. And I was doing a little 1v1 earlier. I usually like to have one like co-host, but then nobody was coming up. So I was like, friendlies can come up if they want to talk to me. But if you are a Christian or a believer of the God of the any of the Abrahamic religions, you can come up. I will certainly ask a couple of them to drop down, and the other ones will mute up while I speak. They will not be rude to you or anything. We just want to talk. I just want to talk about how I'm feeling about the Abrahamic God, and how I just didn't realize how unsafe his teaching was for women and children. How much harm it has done to women and children, from telling us to obey our husbands to telling people to not spare the rod. There's just so much harm. And then the story after story, they didn't sit well with me as a child. I've told this story before too. When I was 3 years old, I was moved to California. I was born in Detroit, Michigan. And I was put on a plane at 3 years old with my brother, who at the time was like 8 or 9, I think. I can't remember. I don't really know how old my siblings are, but I think he was like 9 or something like that. So I don't know. Anyway, he wasn't 9. He was like 13, because he's much older than me. He was like 12 or 13. And they put us on a plane together and sent us to go live with my aunt and uncle in California. And so I was one of 8 children and had only one brother left. And then a year later, they took him away and traded him for my sister. So first of all, I lost my whole family. And then I found out that I was disposable and could be traded like a Pokemon card or something, if they wanted to, because we weren't the real children. So we could do whatever we wanted with these children. So that being said, when these people come up, I almost said, when these people come up and tell me that the Job story is a beautiful story, like, what?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
He took his whole fucking family away and gave him a new family and said, we're good. That's what fucking happened to me. And we were not good, okay? We were not. I'm not good with that. I'm not okay that you took my whole family away and gave me this other family. I'm not okay with that. And I wasn't okay with the Job story either. And I hate that story. Just see nothing good from that story.
I was just trying to think. Is there a single woman in the Bible that like doesn't get in some sort of trouble or have like something negative happen to her?
Let me look. You talk amongst yourselves for a minute.
Well, because I'm just trying
That's
to
a
think.
great question.
Like I'm
That's
trying
a
to
great
think like, maybe
question,
like Ruth or no, Esther was like a concubine. I'm just trying to think because like even the women that aren't named, they're just named by their like association with men from the Bible, like Lot's wife. Well, actually, she had a name, I think. But, just so many different women in the Bible are just not treated well. I don't think there's a single one that is treated what I would consider well.
Well, I would say
Mary.
I would say not well that she was treated, but of course later on they wrote her out and they didn't like her. The fact that Lilith was independent, she liked to be more of a woman in control or at the same, like when you see some of the first writings. And she was a person of her own. She just kind of like, she was the type that like, I'm not going to be submissive. I am going to be at an equal level, and if I want to tell you off, I'll tell you off. And for some reason, that did not sit well with the early writers when they were doing it. And eventually, she got written out, and I think eventually she turned into the devil or the snake. I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, shoot, that's the Lilith stuff is like considered, like extra like biblical. So
okay, I
even
just
that
want
is
to
like a
tell
really-
you something. So looking it up, I want to answer your question. The only time that I can see, because I'm reading a little list here right now, is when they are a mother of somebody. Or let me see, Queen Esther. Okay. But you said, did you say
Esther-
something about Queen Esther?
So she was Moabite, I believe. So she was actually in a different land, and I mean, she had like a number of. The Book of Esther is really interesting, by the way. Like, I think it's actually like a really cool book, but she just like had like good luck. There was no intervention by God or anything. She ends up like freeing her fellow Jews, but in order to do that, to become queen, she like has to move up the ranks like as a concubine, like as a of the king.
So I don't know why I didn't include it in my list, but and then the last one that it lists is the Shunammite woman in 2 Kings 4:8 through 37. She's a wealthy woman who shows hospitality to the prophet, so she has no name. She's only there to provide, like she's just a little backstory. She's not fucking important. There's no, Benny. There's no fucking woman in this book.
Your topic had me think about this. I was like, holy shit. You know what? I don't think there's like Mary. She didn't get to choose whether or not she was pregnant. Like there's nothing. Eve, all the way
You're
from the beginning.
either a mother, a whore, or a fucking slave if you're a woman in this book. And you're lucky if you have a name, because it's like 5%. Only 5% of the characters in the Bible have female names.
Yeah. You know what's really sad about the Mary story, if you really get down to it? They think that, oh, this is so miraculous. But in a lot of ways, I can't say the word, but in a lot of ways, it's some kind of weird essay going on where God just sort of says, hey, I get to do this thing. And then all of a sudden, he doesn't really consult very well with Joseph. So he thinks his wife's been cheating around with some dude. But then God can't sit around and have a conversation with both of them beforehand when they decide to do this. So God has to do it afterwards, but he can't go and have enough balls to talk to Joseph. So he has to send an angel to kind of like, I guess, calm the storm down or whatever without anybody's consent. It's the most effed up story when you get down to it, because if I did that and I was a billionaire and I did that to any of you or your wife, and did it without consent, I could understand you being a little upset with me.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much. There's a comment over on YouTube on my channel. It said from Kat. And it says, crazy coming from the men in the Deconstruction Junction lives to yours. The amount of disrespect you deal with is astronomical. I don't know if you guys watch Born Again Atheists, but hers are even worse. Like, they literally tell her that they should rape her and stuff. Like, it's horrific, okay? And then
It's
there's
disgusting.
her. She gets called the N-word so many times I can't even fucking take it. Like,
It's disgusting.
It is. It's horrible. And they just feel so insecure when there's a woman who is smarter than them, who has actually read their fucking book, who actually knows what she's talking about, who can form a sentence better than they can. Like, they
And
can't
dares
take
to
it.
speak it all.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
And the Bible enables that behavior in them. It gives them they feel empowered to treat women like that.
Oh, absolutely. And that is why this Abrahamic God is not safe for women or children. The men who have come up here today have proven that you are not safe. You're not a safe space for us. You're just not. You guys also give the worst advice at church to women. You say the stupidest shit ever.
That's so true.
You fucking tell us stuff
It's
like,
true.
you know, if you, even though you have a job and you're working too and you're making just as much money as he is, you should still make yourself presentable for your man when he gets home so he doesn't want to sleep with somebody else. If that is your relationship where the smallest thing's gonna make you fuck somebody else, your relationship has some big fucking problems, okay? You're not gonna last 30 years, okay? You're not.
Yeah, exactly.
Because so many things occur in your life that are going to cause it where you or your wife will not want to or be able to do the deed. So you better have something deeper in common with your spouse if you want it to last for fucking 30 years.
So
Okay?
I
It has to be deeper.
have an argument here that I'm taking. I would actually say that the Abrahamic God is why women and children are not safe, like in society today. Like if you look back at some of the earliest like religious artifacts, they are actually of like motherly, like women, like birth giving. They're usually like pregnant looking, or they have like large breasts, and like very like comforting. And women actually held in a lot of these like earlier religions equal or sometimes higher status than men. It wasn't until the like Eve, Pandora, kind of like all evil is because of woman, did this all kind of change, and like I'm talking like this is 20,000 years ago, like some of these artifacts, and to like prove that, it was on like Nova or something on PBS that I watched about the early civilizations, and I thought that like was wild that women were like equals. They were not like any different than a man, if not better than a man. And now we don't see that. And like in this book, like I said earlier, and like Crystal pointed out, there's not like a single woman except for a deep cut in Kings that is treated well.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna find a story for you that somebody pointed out recently, and I think it's really telling. But you guys talk amongst yourself for a minute.
Hey, real quickly, I was going to ask you, how long are you going to have your live up? How long are your live going to stay up?
I'll be up for at least it looks like an hour and a half, 2 hours. But
perfect.
if I meet my gift goal, it'll be three and a half hours more. So.
Okay, I'm going to come back. I got to run an errand for my wife. And as I just want to say to a lot of the men out there, I love strong women. My wife's strong, incredibly smart. And I've always been attracted to women like that, and I don't see what the problem is. My wife hasn't tried to overpower me or anything. She tends to win the arguments most of the time, but that's cool. I don't care. So, yeah. Anyways, I got to run some errands, so I'll be back in a little while, guys.
All right. Thank you so much for coming up. We appreciate you.
No problem. Peace.
See you, Logic.
All right. I'll see you soon.
All right, I'm looking something up. Okay, let's turn to Jeremiah 44, okay?
Oh, wow.
And it's a very short chapter, so let's go ahead and read it, okay? And I don't know a lot about it. This is something new or I've learned. So if you have input, feel free to share with me any input you might have. Or if you want me to stop and look something up, we can stop and look it up like we do on Non-Believers Bible Study, okay? But I do have a little bit of information I pulled up on it. All right, we're going to 44. I said 42, didn't I? Oh, no, I don't want to read all of 44. Never mind. I looked at the wrong page. Okay, 44, we're going to start at 15. I lied. We're starting at 15. Then all the men who were aware that their wives had been making offerings to other gods, and all the women who stood by a great assembly, all the people who lived in Pathros in the land of Egypt, answered Jeremiah, "As for the word that you have spoken to us in the name of the Lord, we are not going to listen to you." We're not going to listen to you. Instead, we will do everything that we have vowed, make offerings to the Queen of Heaven. and pour our libations to her, just as we and our ancestors, our kings and our officials used to do in the towns of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. We used to have plenty of food and prosper and saw no misfortune. But from the time we stopped making offerings to the Queen of Heaven and pouring out libations to her, we have lacked everything and have perished by the sword and by famine. And the women said, indeed, we will go on making offerings to the Queen of Heaven and pouring out libations to her. Do you think that we made cakes for her, marked with her image, and poured our libations out to her without our husbands being involved? These people were worshiping a female god and everything was great. And then the Israelites started pushing fucking Yahweh on them. And that's when they started having problems and they didn't like it. So they started going back to worshiping a woman, a goddess.
That's in the Bible?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am. That is in the Bible.
I was just reading all of it. Yep, it's straight up. We had life better, and then y'all came around and fucked it up.
This is not your religion. You were not ever supposed to worship this God. And ever since we all started worshiping this God, women and children have not fucking been safe.
But this God is good, right?
Not according to Jeremiah 44:15, right? Not according
The one
to
true
Jeremiah.
God.
Well, he's good to his select few.
Yeah,
I want to get that book, When God Was a Woman. Have you guys been seeing Skeptic Gal go over that one? Oh, it looks really good. Everybody's pushing it on the TikTok shop right now, so they must be offering good commissions on it. But Skeptic Gal goes over it really well, actually.
So I'm reading further on in Jeremiah 44 here, and Jeremiah responds to the women, basically saying you're all
Benny,
gonna.
I'm trying to take this out of context.
No. I mean,
I'm teasing. I was teasing.
it gets worse. He's like, basically, you all everybody from Judah that are living in Egypt are gonna suffer war and famine until all of you are unalived. Only a small number will escape unalivement and return to Judah from Egypt. And he's basically saying keep pouring out your libations because it's not going to do you that great and all this other shit. So it's just more assholeness.
Yeah.
Wild.
It is wild. It is wild. I really wish I could remember who told me about this first. Not kind of feel bad, but Mezzo told me not to give people credit anyway, and I should just steal everything. So I'm not going to tell you who, but it's because I don't remember. But she was on Thinker's Live the other night, so if you watch Thinker, you probably saw it come up. Thinker actually said to her, this doesn't have anything to do with my topic. I don't know if you heard that conversation, but it was a really good one. It was. Don't give me credit for that. That's I always give you credit for everything. I wonder if I have a little OCD about that, because I cannot say something without telling people who said it. I feel like I don't want to be accused of plagiarism, even though Joel tries to accuse me of that all the time.
Who? I don't know who you're talking about. Who is this Joel person?
Oh, there used to be this guy that was a part of the community, but then he got lost. He went. What's it called when you're in Australia and he went on a walkabout and never came back?
Is that the glasses and sweater guy?
Yeah, he has some groovy orange background that looks like it's from the 70s, and he went on a Wadwo? What's that? I don't know what that is. I heard that he did have a best friend, but then his best friend moved on and is completely
Converted to
happy without him.
Christianity.
called the CIA about Joel missing. Oh, no. I put up lost puppy type signs for him where you could pull a tag off and call me if you find him. Lost Joel signs with his little sweater on. He looks so sad in the picture. He looks... Doug's out, Joel. Yes, we have milk cartons with his pictures.
Okay, just off topic, but has anybody ever actually seen a milk carton like with somebody's picture on the back? Because I've in my whole life,
a long time.
I was gonna say my whole life I've drank out of milk cartons. I've never seen like missing children on the back of them.
When I was in school, the milk
that was like a
cartons you would
90s thing,
get
yeah.
with lunch.
2000s thing.
Well, 80s too and 70s because I had them when I
Yeah.
was growing up. You would just the ones at school. Like I didn't like go to the store and get a milk carton and there was a picture. It was just the little milks that I would get at school that I would see them. And then when I graduated and got older, I got the prison cards where you. Do you guys know about those? Prison cards. They give out cards in prison, like playing cards. That has convict, like people who are wanted on them.
Oh,
because they think they're
like the
prisoners.
top 10 most wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Like the
that
escapees
they
and
figure
shit.
they all,
Yeah, I remember that.
like if you see this guy, you know, and they sometimes
I remember
do
that.
they do that in the military too for like, you know, enemies that they're going after?
Like
I think they
AWOL?
did.
cops had like,
enemies?
Not AWOL, but like you know, top generals
Like
for your
enemies,
enemy
yeah.
that you're. Yeah, something like that.
oh yeah. I think that like, and they would be like, oh, that one's the Jack of Spades, you know, and they would have designations. I was gonna say cops had
Yeah.
trading cards. That's all I remember.
Oh, okay. Trading cards. That's funny. I am a dear police officer. Here's my trading card.
Only thing
Can
Dare
you
made me
imagine?
think of like ever taught me was wrong, and it was that like kids are just like willingly giving out free DRUGs. That's not happening.
I know. Where are all the people offering me free to try? You know, like I was a kid out there going, I will eat anybody's candy. Just give me candy. Like where's
Yeah,
this drug
exactly.
candy?
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
giving it to me.
Not
Never
once.
found it.
That's like the
And
Halloween candy thing that they said they were putting like razors in the candies or, you know,
Mhm.
or D rugs. Yeah.
If you read about that, it is so fucked up because the only times it's ever happened is when a father has done it to his own child with the Halloween candy.
Yeah,
Because
that's
he
what I
knew-
heard.
Yeah, it was horrible. What a piece of shit. Fuckface. All right, so what other stories you want to talk about today about women and children and this God who does not apparently love them? We could talk about the cannibalism if you want,
Well,
and how
Tahir,
he's going to force you to eat your kids.
Tahir brought up, and I think I was muted, but Tahir brought up the Syrophoenician woman, and well, in one of the stories, she's Syrophoenician, and Jesus calls her, you know, a cur or a dog, and she has to basically prostrate herself and embarrass herself so her daughter will get healed, and that's like that hits both topics, like women and children, and that was like that's a really good one. I mean, everybody knows that story by now. If you don't, I don't know what you're doing because that's like. It's mentioned like 2 or 3 times in the New Testament.
Yeah, oh, I hope I didn't stop recording over there. No, I didn't. Okay. I don't know why OBS is recording though. Like for me, I don't want a copy of this.
You might have to
It's
turn
only
off
on
like auto
YouTube.
record or something. Yeah, don't do the
Okay.
recording because that'll drain your computer even harder.
Yeah, I don't know why it started doing that. It was never said to do that before, and all of a sudden it started recording my shows lately. Okay. So the first one we're going to find in Matthew 15:21 through 28. Okay. So we'll go there. I feel like a lot of times when you don't have a guest, if you start talking, like they show up, you know, because they want to correct you. You're. They do. They're like.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was looking at chat. I'm sorry. I forgot I was unmuted.
No, it's fine. I love laughter and organic interactions with chat are fine, unless you're Christian. Then don't look at chat. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go to Matthew. One is in Matthew 15:21 and 20 through 28, and the second one is in Mark 7:24 through 30. So we'll do Matthew first.
Yeah, in one she is a Canaanite, and the other she's Syrophoenician. I'm not sure which one, or if are Syrophoenicians Canaanites? I guess I don't know.
I don't know. Are they the same
Possibly.
woman? Did they just fuck the story up again because they can never get their stories straight?
Well,
We don't know.
that's the default that I always
Could
tell
be
people.
two different women. Might not even be the same one. He might just be mean to every woman who walks up and has a daughter who needs to be healed. We don't know. All right. But none of it ever happened anyway. So, okay, Here we go. All right. Jesus left the place and went away to the district of Tyre and Sidon. Is it Sidon? Sidon? Sidon?
Sidon, I think.
Sidon? Okay.
Yeah.
Just then a Canaanite woman from that region came out and started shouting, "Have mercy on me, Lord, son of David. My daughter is tormented by a demon." But he did not answer her at all. And his disciples came out and urged him, saying, "Send her away, but she keeps shouting after us. She's so fucking annoying. Get her out of here." Okay? And he answered, "And I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." But she came and knelt before him, saying, "Lord, help me." He answered, "It is not fair to take the children's food and throw it to the dogs." She said, "Yes, Lord, yet even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." Then Jesus answered her, "Woman, great is your faith. Let it be done for you as you wish." And her daughter was healed instantly. So many things come to mind whenever we talk about this story, but one for sure is, I don't know if any of you have ever had to, I know Benny has recently, definitely, advocate for somebody else for their health care. I don't see why I should have to fucking do that to a god. But
Right.
I have had to do it in the hospital. And I will do anything to make sure that my loved one gets 100% of the fucking treatment that's available to them. I will do everything. I will fight any hospital staff. I will call out any doctor. I'll make the phone calls. I'll do the legwork because it's hard work, but it has to be done because you don't just get to go in, unless you're a fucking billionaire, you don't get to just go in and have what you need done. It doesn't work that way. It took me 2 years to get rotator cuff surgery. 2 years to get it. And I live in America and have great health care. But I had to fight for it because they don't want to give it to you. But I sure the hell should not have to cry after a God to beg him for healing that he has promised me if I'm really loved just like everybody else. Not only did he not care about this woman, he didn't care about her child. This God is not safe for you.
Exactly.
Right there, like Jesus should have seen a child in need and helped the child. Like, isn't that like what Jesus is all about? I thought Jesus suffers the little children. Like that's Jesus. There's like songs about him loving children.
There are. Some of them are awful and racist, but there's songs about him.
They are very racist.
But that's the thing, is it's like driving home that this God and this religion is not for us,
Yeah, it's not. And that's the first one. Let's turn and look at it again in Mark and see if that changes anything for us, okay? Let's see if that makes us like maybe see Jesus in a better light. Maybe this time he gets it right. You think?
In that one in Matthew's, does she get down? Does she like get down on her hands and knees at all? I know
It doesn't say that.
Yeah, it does. I didn't think I heard it. So
No.
I'm gonna have to go on mute here for a second. Just look at a few things.
And then just starting that sentence with woman.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna try this, guys. We'll see. Hey, Yakov, how are you today?
Hello, how are you?
Doing well. Are you a Christian and are you over the age of 18?
I'm over the age of 18. I'm not Christian, I'm Jewish.
You're Jewish. Okay, we're talking about the Abrahamic God today. I don't usually have a lot of problems with the way most Jewish people worship their God and teach their God, frankly, because they usually aren't trying to push that God on me. But I still don't like him. The God of the Old Testament does not like women or children. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that would be your opinion. And I think that God, he loves us all. And I think that he says that he loves us all. But I could show you, but I could show you that through time, men, and I mean men by corrupted men, use God's words for an abhorrent sexual sin, immorality. Look, I believe that just because someone's attracted to a man, I believe that they should be entitled to that, and I believe that they should have a life, and God loves them enough to let them have a life, and I think that it's through teaching and points of view and doctrine that people have these narratives, because if we just look at life, right? If God is real, do you think that the God couldn't just stop certain communities thriving? Of course he could, but he chooses to let them have a life. Why? Because I believe that he loves all life, and I think that it's just through certain lenses that we think that God is not safe for women and children. I can't comprehend that, because I think it's a bit. What's the word? Not triggering, but antagonizing. I think it's there to mix up the pot, right, and be a bit controversial, because why?
No, I'm not doing it for that. I'm actually a woman, and I was a Christian for over 40 years. And I've had these feelings about God since I was a young child, because the stories that I read and about how this God treats women throughout the entire Bible is it's horrendous. He shows me from the very first story to the very last story that he does not value me as a human being. And there are Jewish writers who believe this too. Have you ever heard of a book by Judith Plaskow? She's a Jewish feminist theologian.
So I don't really...
Well, she wrote a book called Standing Again at Sinai, Judaism from a Feminist Perspective, okay? And I haven't read it yet. It's been recommended to me by my good friend, Rabbi Bert. I do intend to get this book and read this myself, and I think that I probably will go over it when I'm doing content creation and so forth. But the main themes are this, Yakov. Plaskow uses the image of Mount Sinai, where the Torah was given, as a symbolic of covenant and revelation. She argues that in many traditional depictions, the event at Sinai has been imagined almost exclusively through the male lens. Male leaders, male recipients, meaning that half of the community, that means the women, have been invisible. Now, if you know the story about the covenant at Mount Sinai, they are literally told, do not even touch women. Women are not, they don't get to be a part of this. So you cannot tell me this God loves us all equally when he made a fucking covenant and told me to stay away from it. That's not equal under any lens.
What part of Christianity were you from, may I ask? Like what sect?
I did several different types of Christianity.
Because I think that Christianity is not the same as Judaism, and if you actually look at
But
Judaism,
we're talking about Judaism, and I'm talking to you about it from a Jewish woman's perspective. I'm not
secular
talking
Jewish
to you
woman,
about it from
she's
mine.
secular. A religious Jew wouldn't say that, so she would be secular.
That's
but
not true.
of course it is.
Oh, can anybody help me get Rabbi in here right now? Let's get Rabbi Honda in here if we can. I would love for him to tell her
Yes.
this. This would be good.
Here, I'll drop
Somebody
down.
put out a
Female
little.
rab? Did you just say female rabbi?
Oh, you don't have to. Yes,
I'm gonna go ahead and drop
Rabbi.
down.
So she's
Actually, I gotta dip anyway. Here,
Okay,
can you kick me, Crystal?
Bye, Trust. Thank you guys for coming up. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
All right,
Bye,
bye,
guys.
guys. I'm gonna go too.
Bye, Sunny. Thanks for coming up. Love you.
Hey, Sunny. Yeah, Cov, why? Okay, number one, please don't refer to women as females. It reduces us to like the level of breeders. Call us women. And there are many women rabbis out there. I don't know why you're all of a sudden kicking in with the
Yeah, but
misogyny.
it depends. Like anyone could call themselves a rabbi. It would depend what sect of
She
different
is
reform.
an
Or,
actual rabbi.
who gave her shmika?
So, isn't there a woman judge in the Old Testament? Isn't her name Ruth?
Yes.
Yes.
So women can be judges, but they can't be rabbi.
So there's a term. What's it called?
Are you Orthodox by chance?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a term. Not Erev Rav. Rav. There's one that's higher than a rabbi, and we actually go to him because.
Oh, I know a Rav. I know a Rabbi Bert. Would you like me to bring him?
Can you bring a rabbi in? Yes, and I could bring in a couple of rabbis also.
To be really great friends with Rabbi Hannah and has no quarrels with the fact that she's a woman.
So can somebody put out the bat signal for a rab? I'd appreciate that. We'll let them know that, Awesome.
It's just like the Jewish tradition to me sounds like, a tradition that kind of evolves, as the conversation goes on. If that's not what like the Talmud is, then I don't know what it is. I don't understand how a woman could not be a rabbi.
So in Judaism, women are actually upholded more than men.
Then why are you being misogynist? Let's talk about Judith. Let's talk about her credentials because you seem to be questioning my source. And my source has a BA from Clark University. She was magna cum laude, 1968. She has a master's in philosophy and a PhD from Yale University, 1975. Her doctoral thesis was later published as Sex, Sin, and Grace, Women's Experience and the Theologies of Reinhardt, and I am going to butcher names here, Niebuhr and Paul Tillich. Academic position, she taught at New York University, she taught at Wichita State University, and she joined Manhattan College. She has scholarly contributions, honors, and leadership, and other roles that she's done, including the Journal of Feminism, Feminist Studies in Religion. She's a founding member of B'nai Esh, a Jewish feminist spiritual collective. She has served as president of the American Academy of Religion in 1990s. I don't think that I don't think you have any credentials that can even fucking be a candle to what hers are. And so I don't think you really should keep questioning her credentials till you start showing me yours.
So I think you should have just a little bit of respect, because I never swore at you, and I think that we should.
I swear, and if that bothers anybody right now, I just want you all to know I'm almost 60 and I'm not fucking filtering myself for anybody. If you don't like it, you don't have to be here. I swear.
I mean, he's sitting there talking about how women are equal within the Old Testament. Then he's sitting here spouting off misogynist bullshit.
Did I say what's misogynistic? Can you please, instead of gaslighting me,
Oh, a woman
We're
rabbi.
not gaslighting you. We're not gaslighting you.
You know what?
Don't use words that you don't know what they mean.
That's like
please.
me
I don't
just
like
say
when people do
you're
that.
trying to say something I never said.
As a woman, I would not take my emotional and mental welfare to a man. Okay, I would not take my spiritual welfare to a man. As a woman, I would want to talk to another woman.
Well, I think you're being misogynistic and sexist by saying that.
No, we're safer.
Misandrist.
Well, I think you're misogynistic and sexist.
No,
That's
it's called
misandering.
misandrist. Get your terms right, please. And no,
He doesn't know the words. And
you're a
gaslighting.
Sure. You're saying men are not equal to females. You have to go to a female for your problems.
No, you're not listening. Can you
That's literally what you
just
just said
listen
verbatim.
to me for a minute? Can you listen to me for a minute since I'm the host? I want you to hear me very carefully. We are safer. We are not safe with men. You do not make it safe for us. We cannot fucking go to you. We are not safe. You're not listening.
If you're not safe, then why
I
do you
go
have
to
more
men if
soldiers?
I was safe around men. I'm not safe around men.
So how did you get into the country you are? How are you living the way you are if it wasn't for men?
What the fuck are you talking about? I was born. That's how I got here. I was
Historically,
fucking born.
men go to
You
war.
think I had a choice?
Why is it historically men go to war, not females? Why is that?
Because you men are
Because we
idiots,
protect
and you think that your
females.
penises make you stronger.
Then
but your penises
why
don't
don't you
do
join the army
shit.
then? Why don't you join the army then and fight for the
Because I
country?
didn't want to, but plenty of my sisters have. Are you fucking kidding me, you
I
idiot?
bet. That's not true at all.
You are such a misogynist, and you
No,
keep
that's
up here
you.
trying
You're
to
the
tell me
sexist.
this
You're the
God
sexist.
loves everybody,
You're-
and all you've done is come up here and be a misogynist the
No.
entire time.
Show me one time.
It
Show me
is
one-
wild.
Show me-
You just did. You said, "Why don't you join the armed services?" Like women don't exist.
Why
in
do
the
you?
armed
Yeah,
services.
Yakov. Why are you taking this so personally? Why are you taking this so personally? I'm a man up here on the panel. I am not taking anything that they're saying personally. Now they did point out some misogynistic shit that you said because that's true, but you aren't the one probably to blame for the misogyny there. Like you can listen to the women as they try to explain to you why this is, or you could sit there and take it personally and push back like you're doing.
I'm still waiting for the rabbi. Where's this rabbi?
Well, I'm sorry if they're busy. They're actual fucking rabbis, Pumpkin. They
Rabbi.
literally have people that they care for.
Where's their shul? What shul do they work at?
I am not going to tell you where they're located. I don't dox people online.
It's not doxing.
Are
It's
you
not-
wild? Yes, it is doxing. Anybody could find them then. Don't be stupid.
when you give
This
the
is
whereabouts,
ridiculous.
and
No, if you type majority of rabbi,
when you give the whereabouts and location of a person, that's called doxing. And I'm
Hey, open book.
I am very, very, very protective, unlike you, of Rabbi Bert and Rabbi Hannah. They have families to protect. You think we're going to give you their location?
Yeah, I'm not doing
But-
that. Even if I knew, I know where one of them is because I live very close to Rabbi Hannah, so I actually know where Rabbi Hannah is. We've talked, and we're going to meet in person very soon. But even if I knew Rabbi Bert's exact location, which I don't know is exact, I just know where.
I don't want to know his exact location.
I'm not going to share that. I'm not going to share that with you. Are you crazy?
So they would.
Wild.
They would because I'm
No,
not-
they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. I've talked to them many times
So
online,
you're
and they've
speaking for
talked with
Jews
other
now.
Jewish
So
people.
not only
no,
are you
I'm
your
speaking
white
for both of
superiority.
them. She would not tell you where she is located. You're not trustworthy. And what does white supremacy have to do with me not wanting to dox somebody? Please explain. Don't mute him
You're
again.
talking
Don't
for
mute him
ethnic
again.
group. You're talking for ethnic group because Jews have to
I
greet
am
Jews.
not. I'm talking for Rabbi
differently.
Hannah and Rabbi Bert.
Are they not
They
Jews?
would not tell you
Are
where
they
they
not Jews?
live.
Are they not Jews
I'm
like
not
me?
speaking for them as Jews. I'm speaking for them
Are
as
they
my
not
friends
Jews
who I
like me?
know.
So you don't know the
I'm
rules
not
and have
speaking
to how
for
they.
them as
Yes,
a
you
Jew.
are. They have to
No,
engage
I'm
me
not.
differently to
You
you.
just want to be hit. Oh, you know what this is? Nobody's persecuted you recently, and you need to feel persecuted.
See, now you're being
That's so
anti-Semitic.
cute. No,
See, now
I'm
you're being-
not.
Yes, yes, you
I'm
are.
being
This is all being
You want to
recorded.
be persecuted because you're
So
a
not only
man.
are you sexist, you're racist.
Yeah. No, I'm a misandrist.
I'm going to send this
now.
to your
You
rabbi
don't know the
friends.
words, do you?
I'm going to send
Okay,
this to
go
your
ahead.
rabbi friends.
Jacob,
You,
please
got,
pick
you
a
know what?
lane.
They subscribe to me. They
I
subscribe
bet they will
to me,
unsubscribe to
Pumpkin.
you once they talk to my rabbis.
No?
I bet you they do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Pick a
Oh,
lane.
really? You think
Is she
so?
being is she
Let's
being
see.
anti-Semitic or is she being sexist?
So why was she saying being persecuted now? Why would she say, "Oh, do I need to be persecuted or feel persecuted"? Why would she
Because
say
you
that?
felt...
Why
You
would she
felt
say that?
like
And
as a
because she
man, you
knew
were
I
being
was a Jew, and
persecuted.
she's probably saying Jews feel
Well,
persecuted. They go around.
probably because you're like calling her out on any possible.
Matteo,
Yak
Matteo,
off.
come up.
Yak off. Listen to my words. She says you're acting persecuted as a man. Man. It has nothing to do
I don't
with
get
your
persecuted.
ethnicity. It has nothing to do with your religion. It's the fact that you're coming up on this stage acting like a typical man who
Right?
is misogynistic.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with your ethnicity. It has nothing to do with
I
your
think
religion.
you're a Christian.
You're a hypocrite.
I think
'cause
you're
you
lying.
keep saying
You
typical.
sound just like a
stereotyping
Christian who
men.
likes to be persecuted.
Isn't that
You
Isn't that
sound
sexist?
just like
The
that.
stereotype, men.
Men are not lonely enough.
So
Men
so
are
you're
not
sexist.
lonely enough.
So you're the actual bigots here.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
Also, you're racists and bigots. It's crazy.
Mateo, can you come up? I'm going to invite you up because I want to tell you what the real topic is, and then you can tell me what's, I would let, Mateo is a friend of mine. Mateo is also Jewish, and it looks like you know him because he says you are Jewish. So, and I trust Mateo. I don't know if you trust Mateo, but I do. He's never given me any reason to not trust him. Mateo, do we happen to know a rabbi named Rabbi Hannah?
Yeah, Yakov knows who's Rabbi Hannah.
Oh, why is he pretending he died? Oh, he ran when you came up.
Oh, Yakov.
Oh my!
He knows her.
He ran
knows
when you
her.
came up because he was pretending that there is no way that she is a rabbi because she's a woman, and he called her a female, and then said that I am anti-Semitic and a racist and a misandrist. Well, he didn't know the word misandrist, but that's what he was alluding to.
I'm not sure if they've spoken personally, but I've heard Yakov say these things before. He's very orthodox.
Yeah, that's definitely good. It's just wild to me that he took it so personally. Like, why do men get so up in arms about like truth when it's nothing personal, guys. Like it's reality. Like, just deal with it, accept it. We can start talking about it then.
Yeah, I just had a topic. Hi, Crystal.
Hey, Open Book, how are you?
Good. Thanks for letting me come up. I saw your topic and it was like pretty similar to mine. I just had a topic for the second day that children should be banned from the church. And I think that children should be banned from the church. And the Abrahamic God is not safe for women or children. And I would 100% agree with that. That children and women are not safe, not only in the text, but just with the men that believe in the text. Like, I only came into the last conversation with the last guy, but the fact that like he wanted to discredit Rabbi Hannah just because she's a woman really shows that the Abrahamic God is not safe for women.
That's what we're saying. Do you know that every man who's come up here today has shown that he is not safe for women or children? Every man, believer man, not you guys. Sorry, guys, not you guys. Every believer man who has come up here today has immediately shown he's not safe for women or children.
He says this. Sorry, Crystal.
What? Go ahead.
I'll
eat some gummy bears.
He said that women were equal, and then turns around, female rabbi is like, pardon? You just proved our fucking point, bro.
I know, it's wild.
Rabbi Hannah is my rabbi. Rabbi Bert is my rabbi. Now, Granted, I go to Rabbi Hannah for much more than I do Rabbi Bert because she is a woman and she understands women problems. She understands the woman's psyche. She understands women. So I will go to a woman, and then he turns that around and calls me he was supposed to be saying the word misandrist, but he kept calling me a misogynist, but he calls me a misogynist for wanting to go to a woman about woman problems. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, that reflexive like defense mechanism that needs to just go away. Like it bothers me so much. And you're right. Like anytime that Rabbi Hannah ever gets like brought up or is on a panel, I swear, like in any chat, they're always questioning her certifications, her validity, because being a woman rabbi apparently is disqualifying or something. And I get it, like, yeah, orthodoxy, whatever. Like that doesn't absolve anything.
No.
Like so you are unwilling to change and grow is what you're telling me.
He also said, Mateo, that he's going to contact his rabbis and have them contact Bert and Hannah, and they'll unfollow me after.
My rabbis are bigger than your rabbis.
And that's gonna. Rabbi Hannah and Bert are gonna unfollow me because I said that he likes to be persecuted, because he was looking for a reason to be persecuted since he got up here, and I wasn't saying that because he's Jewish, because I don't think the Jewish people like to be persecuted. I think they want it to stop. Okay, I think though that there is a lot of men who like to feel like they're persecuted when they're not. I do. I'm sorry. I see it a lot.
He was reaching in his bag of like, what ways am I a victim?
Yes.
He was trying to pull out all of them.
From the very minute he got up here. And apparently he was not a victim.
A woman rabbi victimized him somehow. I don't know how, but it did.
I even started by saying, like at the very beginning, I said, I really don't usually have people who worship the Jewish Abrahamic God, because Jewish people don't tend to, try to push their religion on me. They're very open to how I interpret things. Like, you know what I mean? And I started by telling him that I really don't. I actually, if I was going to believe in this God, I might have to convert to Judaism, because like at least they wrestle with God, at least they question things, at least they have open and honest conversations. You know what I mean?
They like also don't believe in a hell.
No.
Yeah.
They don't.
And if I can also say, like, in my own Christian walk, I recognize something that I think a lot of Christians have done or do, and they don't recognize how harmful it is that, and I actually, like, outside of Rabbi Hannah's, like her affiliation, I heard her say something that was like really intriguing to me. And honestly, I never heard it from anybody, but we should hear it more, is that Christianity took a religion, changed a religion, added a Messiah to it, and then deemed the people that they took the religion from to be out of order and incorrect.
Yeah.
And that is the most profound thing I've heard that woman say, and I've never been able to tell her that. I take that with me to this day. Like, how dare Christians take a religion, mold a religion to their own, literally add a Messiah to it, and then tell the people that they took the religion from that they're not real.
Right.
That's harmful.
Okay, thank you, Mateo. I really appreciate you coming up. I really do. I had put out the call I actually put it out to Cyber too, in case he was around, because I was like, Cyber will come up and talk to him.
I mean,
but
Cyber was up until 4 a.m. on a panel with me last night, which was probably like 6's. So he might still be sleeping.
Oh, that might be it. You guys, I just want to let you know, I'm going to be live for about another hour, okay? But if you want me to stay live for 2 hours, help me reach that gift goal. I'm almost halfway there. Also, our goal is always 100 likes. We are literally halfway there. So if you could keep tapping that screen, doing all the good things, sharing out the live. If you are a Christian or a believer of the God of the Bible, or you can come up if you are Muslim or Jewish. It's just, to be honest with you, I don't have as much knowledge about your religions as I do the Christian religion, because I was a Christian for over 40 years. And, you know, my guests are very nice. They won't all come at you. We like to kind of do more one-on-one. They might say, can I ask a question? Or they might, you know, bring some facts to the table. But open book, Nick and Benny are all my friends, and they're just here to ask more questions and get more knowledge as well. So yeah, if you're a believer, come on up. If you're over on the YouTube and you're a believer, you have to come over to TikTok. I don't have a way to help you right now. But if you notice, like up there, it says $1,000, and then it has a little thermometer type thing. All your gifts, all of your tips, the links are in the bio of where you can tip me. All of that is going to help me upgrade my computer, so that I can be on Twitch, I could be on TikTok, YouTube vertical, YouTube horizontal, all the good stuff, and hopefully get monetized real soon over on YouTube. So, and then I'll be able to have a phone-in line for the YouTube group.
So Mateo just was saying that Yaakov was referring to this Rabbi Asher Meza and what was the other one? Rabbi Litvin. I haven't looked up Litvin. Just a cursory glance here at Asher Meza, and I'm seeing that basically just a conservative, Proud Boy sympathizing rabbi, which is like,
That's wild.
that is like contradictory in my head, because the Proud Boys are like deemed a hate group, but just I don't
God
know.
loves
I'm just
everybody, Benny.
awful.
But God loves everybody. That's what he came up and told us, right? God loves everybody.
Yeah, apparently, and even though like the Southern Poverty Law Center is like the ones that deemed them a hate group, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly.
Yaakov, one of your rabbis, can you explain to me why he's part of a hate group that's run primarily by YT supremacists? And you're sitting up here saying that you're going to tell on us to your rabbi. Like, you really have a Proud Boy for a rabbi.
No, you know what? And Yaakov, you already know our rabbi. You were just lying and pretending you didn't. And the fact that Mateo outed you is just funny. No, I'm not bringing you back up. If Rabbi Bert or Rabbi Hannah show up and they would like to have a conversation with you, then you can both come back up. But yeah, I'm not gonna play this game with you where you sit there and pretend that everybody's out to get you. Your little male fragile eagle. Can't do that.
Oh,
nope.
Mateo said that Meza, I think his name was, got kicked out of the Proud Boys because he ratted on them for January 6th.
Oh my god. Oh, wow.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
my God.
This is getting worse.
Wow. So open book. Let's talk to you for a minute. Do you have any stories that really bother you about how women or children are treated in the Bible that always stick out to you?
Sorry. Was that for
I
that
think
was for open
that I mean, I would have to, one, I will say that like I'm not like deeply like certain things in the text. I think I'm starting to like my mind is like the trauma behind it is starting to like escape the book. So like when certain people will bring things up, I'll be like, oh, I remember that. Like today on my live, somebody brought up where Jesus said that you need to hate your mother, your father, and I forgot all about that. You know, or the scripture where you need to make yourself like a child over again so that you can be retaught all these things. Or like the sacrifice with Cain and Abel, like I don't know if they were like their age or whatever, but just the fact that they were brothers has always been a problem for me, like the relationship that they had and how God came in between them. And then also like when I became a Christian, like I read the book from the front, and I started that way, and then like got my way to the New Testament. So like Cain and Abel were one of the first stories that I heard, and I just didn't understand why God did that between two brothers over a sacrifice. I think that if like people were to remind me of certain things, then I would remember. But if you give me a couple minutes, like I could probably definitely think of some more things. I think like overall,
Yeah, no,
like
if you just
like
think of one,
overall,
though, let me know.
yeah, and I also think like it's like the religion for me, like not even so much like what's in the text, but like how the religion forms people and how adults form children to believe the religion. You know, like outside of the text, like you have Christians that don't even read the book, have barely read the book, but they are still pushing this religion onto children. Or you have men that really don't read the book, but they've heard other things like how their women should be submissive to them and how they should be the leader of the house, and they just take that and they run with that and be extreme with it. You know, I think even if you take the book out, even some of the ideology around it that has been, you know, that has grown is very like corrupt for children. I always think about children because it's like more of what I can relate with in my childhood. I'm not a woman, so it's tough for me to like have that experience. But like I always remember like what this did to me as a child. Right.
And it fucks you up as a child, and you don't know that you're being fucked up. You think you're
that's the
normal.
biggest thing is the lack of knowledge behind it is also the trust. You know, as a child, you trust the people that are telling you a thing. You trust the adults that are telling you a thing. So when the adults are telling you that this man was unalived for you, okay, and that Easter is not about eggs, but it's about the man that was unalived for you, little Johnny, that's only 8 years old, that's a problem, especially when little Johnny has not met the man that apparently was unalived for him. It's confusing.
Yeah, it is. Do you guys want to try another topic? I have another topic I think is pretty good. Let me see what you guys think of
Before
this.
you go to another topic, you were asking about like what stories, and I just think of like, so the whole situation between like David, the 10 concubines that get raped by his son Absalom, and why Absalom rapes the concubines is because his sister was raped by Amnon. There's just like so much raping going on. And
right?
like
And then what about the baby who suffers for 7 days before being, unalived?
Right.
Just needless suffering for 7 days. You're gonna unalive it. Just unalive it. What are you fucking doing, God?
And the people that are being punished are literally the women and children in these, like, in all of these stories, like, and they're all connected in this weird, grapey, like, spider web of just grapiness, and it's just awful.
It's like the same story where God was like, yeah, don't go after these men, take these women instead. Is that story? Where like
no, this is a story where David sleeps with Bathsheba, and for punishment for unaliving Uriah, her husband, God makes their baby sick for 7 days and then kills it. And then he says, I'm going to cause up trouble against you. I am going to cause your neighbor to go on to screw your wives in front of the whole city. And it wasn't just his neighbor. It was his son, Absalom. Absalom took the women up on the rooftop and pitched a tent up there so everybody could see.
Everybody great.
So everybody could see. I'm sorry. I'm childish. Anyway. I'm sorry. So then he went up there and then he raped all 10 of his wives. And we know it was grape, which is the apologetic is we don't know if it was grape. We know it was grape because they were not unalived, and that would have been the punishment. But they weren't punished because they never gave consent.
Also, I'm even in the book of the law. Like I don't know if it's in Leviticus or where it's at, but like the fact that like a woman that's going through her natural cycle that she cannot help has to be pushed out of the house for a certain amount of time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's
It's
so
wild work.
many things. What about also like there's a sacrifice now? I will tell you that Rabbi Hannah and Rabbi Bert will give me explanations, but I have said many times to me those also sound like apologetics. So I'm going to tell you what I have to say, and then I'll tell you the apologetic. But women also have to pay a higher sacrifice for after they give birth to a girl than they have to pay if they give birth to a boy. And then I forget what I was told. Actually, I can't tell you the apologetic for that because I don't remember it.
They're unclean for a longer period of time if they give birth to.
But why? The fuck? It's the same. You're
And
not.
if I could, maybe because like in their, it's like it's the man, it's the patriarchy. Like it would be a blessing, I guess, to have a man baby as opposed to a female baby. It's just, but it's still like women are supposed to be treasured, and it's just so uncomfortable when we have to read about stuff like that, and not only read about it, but know that it was actually implemented.
Well, the psychological, like, fundamental way that humans treat each other, that's like built into these like stories after like so many years, and how it affects everyone systematically. And this is why I was like, why I don't understand why people take it so personally, because it's systematic. You know, like the misogyny is systematic. It's just built in.
I love a good guard
Answer your
dog.
door, Benny. Yes, you do.
I'm not
Care
gonna
Bear. Okay, don't answer it. Anyway,
Everybody be
we'll
quiet.
try our other topic. I'll show you guys what it is. And yeah, everybody duck.
I'm pretty sure it was just a delivery anyway.
No, that's not it. Okay, there we go.
Well, I love that for your neighborhood. I wish I would get something delivered to my front door. It would be gone in 30 seconds. I have to literally get a post. I have to pay $200 a month. I mean, $200 a year to have my PO box. It just would never work. So I love that for you. I miss getting packages.
Yeah, we are a little bit lucky here. Unfortunately, I don't know why people steal shit from other people's front doors. That's just wild to me, but it happens.
It is wild.
We call them porch pirates in my area, and it's really bad.
If you know you're expecting a package, either A, be home, or B, have a camera at the front door, because it's going to be gone.
Luckily, I live up a hill and down a cul-de-sac, and nobody ever there's no foot traffic where I live. So there's no porch pirates where I live. I'm pretty lucky that way.
Yeah, like one time I like yelled at this guy I literally watched him walk up on a porch and take a package, and it was a big box, but I still was like, what if that is somebody's medication? And then he put it back.
Right?
But I don't think it was somebody's medication because the box was big. But I just said that, and I'm glad that he put it back. But like come on, like not everybody's getting a gold ring and money sent to their house. Like sometimes people are getting things sent that they need for their life.
Sometimes
Leave it alone.
it does come in big boxes though. Like shit, just because I'm on so many meds now, just after recent stuff. But when I walk out of the pharmacy sometimes, and sometimes I do mail order, like I got like a grocery bag full of stuff.
Wow.
Like they have to give me, syringes and vials and all kinds of things. So yeah, you're right. I mean, there's people that have breathing apparatus. There's all kinds of stuff that I just don't think people really even like consider.
And let's be honest, the way Amazon packs things, it's a box within a box within a box within a box.
Look at Lobes down there making fun of the elderly like myself. I'm just kidding, Lobes. He said, what if it's their depends? And I actually thought of that. What if it was a big box of adult diapers and he was going to steal it? Those people might really need those. Anyway, you guys, I changed the topic. Hopefully we'll get at least one more Christian up here. Well, I'm going to be live for about the next 45 minutes unless we reach the goal. Did we reach the goal? I heard, no, we're halfway there though. We're halfway to goal. Don't forget, keep tapping. I appreciate it. We're at 60,000 likes, but I thought this would be something different. Okay. Can I ask you some honest questions? We could have some Christians come up maybe and talk to us and let us tell them a little bit about themselves and let the conversation flow a little organically. And then as questions arise, we could just ask them. You know what I'm saying?
I have
You know what I'm
endless
saying?
questions. Endless questions for Christians.
I have a million. So I thought, what if we just say, hey, can I just ask you some questions? Can I just, pick your brain for a little bit? I just got questions. I want to understand better. So
Have you ever done this topic before?
No. No, I haven't. I don't know how this is going to go. This is new. I'm not sure how it'll work. All right, you guys talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I need to go to the powder room real quick.
I mean, we could ask them some honest questions, but in the long run, are we going to get honest answers?
Well, like, for some reason, the number one question that comes to my mind, I don't know if it's just because of, like, the time of the year, because it's near Halloween, but, like, are demons real? That's, like, I need to ask Christians this. Like, what are demons, and are they real? Like, because I hear about so many claims of demonic forces, demonic actions, demonic, all kinds of demon-related things, and like honest questions, like what is a demon to you?
And for many of them, and I can say even for me, I remember I said this a couple times. Like, it's probably propaganda the way I see it now, but like, God has to be real, heaven has to be, because of all of this negative or all of this like demonic stuff, I would call it at the time, just speaking as I would speak at the time, like, there has to be a God because look at all this evil we have. There has to be something that's good. So like, we would, as I was a Christian, I would say anything that was outside of God and outside of like his will would be demonic. And like, you never had a face for it. I wouldn't have told you, if you asked me that question, I wouldn't have told you that a demon has a face or it has a look. But like most Christians say, it's a low vibrational spirit that guides a person to do bad.
Interesting. So like, see, in JT kind of hit it right there with it's the devil, Bobby Boucher. Really, like, are demons just what you don't like? Like, is that just pretty much just things that make you uncomfortable, things that maybe make your like stomach churn a little bit? Because you're right, like, the way I've pictured demons are, like little reptilian, maybe like devil looking with the red horns and, like arrow pointed tails, which actually comes from, like the Greek religion because of like the cloven hooved, like Pan-like gods, and in the Old Testament they make sacrifices to this demon kind of thing called Azazel, and that's where like the devil gets his look of that like kind of like goat-ish, like red-skinned, kind of like devil looking thing. But really, demons are just like this vague, like you said, like kind of negative vibrations, which that kind of makes more sense to me, because then it's more of like the Hasatan, or like, like the accuser, like the bad side of things, which
Right.
is subjective if you ask me. So like, I don't think there's anything that would be like objectively demonic,
Well, and it's funny that you bring this up, because this morning when I was like I can't say this morning, my morning, which was 12:30, thanks a lot, Polish. Anyways, I was doom scrolling and I came across this Roman Catholic priest, Father Mike, I believe his name is, and a woman had gone up on the panel and said, can my kids go trick-or-treating? Like, is this okay? And he's like, yeah, I've got no problem with it. Just like, make sure your kids aren't dressing up as anything like demonic. And
Just
I'm
pray
like,
before you go.
there. Yeah, pray before you go. And I'm kind of sitting there like, well, define demonic, because demons don't have a shape. They don't have a solidified we don't know what they look like. So where do you get your definition of demonic from? And it's kind of like what you're saying, Benny. Is it just because it makes you feel uncomfortable? Like,
Yeah, that's right on point. Because when he said that, I was like, yeah, that's it. Because you'll hear some Christians, it's right. It's when they're uncomfortable, they will call it demonic.
demonic.
They'll say it's not of God when really you're probably just uncomfortable.
Exactly. It's just, I wish I had gone up there, but I was really trying to get that first cup of coffee in me. My brain wasn't set in.
No, I feel you on that.
I was in, oh God's Polish, if you're still here, what was it, 6 your time, no, it had to have been 4:30 a.m. by the time we left that live, like, so I was not, my brain was not on this.
I'd still be sleeping. I'd still be sleeping right now.
Oh, the only reason why I actually woke up was because my kid come in the room and he's like, it's like 12:30, right? I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, 4 a.m. If I'm gonna be honest, if Thinker's not on, there's really no reason for me to be up.
Well,
I get out of work and it's Thinker that keeps me up a little longer. If it's not for that, I'll get out of work and I'll be sleeping within 2 hours.
Oh.
4:30 a.m. and then I don't get up until the dog wakes me up. When he's ready to go, that's my alarm. Like we got to get up now. Okay, it must be about 8 a.m.
But I was like asking a Christian last night, well, what is the devil? And this Christian really, they when you ask them that, they don't actually know. They don't actually know where the passages are, and the passages that they go back to don't really have anything to do with a quotation mark Satan figure, right? It's like they're terrified of something that's really isn't biblical. Because when you take all the passages of, the devil or whatever, and you actually give context to them, it's just humans, not actual demonic.
Listen to this comment in YouTube. It's by Kat Gibson. Says, I once read a fiction book where demons were created by disasters and tragic events and caused natural evils of the same. Why couldn't Christians make up a story like that where instead of us blaming humans and stuff like that, we're just blaming basically nature itself, that demons, get their power from natural calamity, not that they give evil powers to humans like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's a better story to me.
Yeah, I mean, I can get down with that, and but also too, like if I had a good question to ask Christians and something that I think will keep me not a Christian forever now is to think that like Christians want to go to a heaven where there was already like calamity.
Yeah,
like God literally caused a whole destruction in this place that Christians are excited to go and be for eternity, that apparently has like, paths of gold and like mansions, and Jesus is preparing a place for you. But there was a problem there before. Like what it doesn't seem like a safe place to want to be for eternity.
No, because like the Bible literally says there is evil in the heavens, and it's like, well, wait a minute. But then if you really pay attention to the Bible, heaven isn't promised to anyone. I mean, there's a waiting period, but then they get sent to new earth. So this idea of a eternal paradise thing is just not a thing unless you start going into other religions, then it's a thing. But
even the garden, they say, is paradise, but how is that paradise when God put something in there apparently to have Adam and Eve fall away? So like, I can always I feel like in anywhere I'm gonna be around this God, no matter where it's at, if the God calls it paradise, I can still plan for something bad to happen.
Yep. Yeah, it's like, why would you put a snake in there that would do something quotation mark bad if it was a perfect, like they try to say that evil came into the world when Adam and Eve ate the fruit. No, it was already there, because how else would God have knowledge of good and evil if evil didn't already exist on some level.
Exactly. And you know, literally, if Jesus was slain before the foundations of the earth, then everything happened before the foundations of the earth that happened before Jesus, including evil. It already existed. It had to, because there would be no need for him without it.
Yep. And I mean, we didn't need Jesus anyways, because you could literally do a sin sacrifice with flowers. So why they had to put that narrative in there, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I have a whole. There could be a whole bunch of questions I could ask Christians. But like Nick said, like, would we get honest answers? I think we would get. That's why I asked you, like, Crystal, have you done this yet? Because
I don't know if we would get honest answers, but I think it would make good for good conversation. Does that
Absolutely.
make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I was
Absolutely.
like, what are some topics that other people haven't really done that I could do that can start some good conversations, right? So I was
Right.
like, you know what if I just asked him if I could talk to him? Will you let me talk to you? Could I ask you some questions? I've got questions. And I started thinking, one of the things is, it is fascinating to hear different Christians' takes on different problems we bring up. Like, their imaginations are just wild. And
Yes.
they're just wild, right? So every once in a while, listening to him now, instead of getting so offended, I'm just kind of in awe. Like, wow, you came up with that one, huh? Because that's a whole new one on me. I never heard that one before. I get shocked at some of the stuff they say. I'm like, okay. I can't even think. I heard somebody telling Bash one today or yesterday. I can't remember what they were saying, but even Bash was speechless for a minute because he was like, wait, what did you just say? But I can't remember what it was. They say some fascinating things. Hey,
Yeah,
doctor,
I was talking
welcome
to
in.
somebody. I was talking to somebody earlier, and they were like kind of offended that I was challenging their testimony, and I felt that, and I called it out, and I said, I'm sorry that you feel like you've never had your testimony challenged. I know that's probably what it is. You go to other people, other Christians, other people that believe just like you tell them your testimony, they instantly believe it, accept it, and adhere to it, and you move forward. You've never had anybody challenge your testimony, and that can be uncomfortable. But like when you get into these type of conversations or into these environments, your testimony is going to be challenged, especially when you realize that it is a lot of their imagination. It's a lot of our imagination. When I look back at my own walk with, oh my goodness, my imagination.
I don't even know what the fuck was my testimony. What? That I was like taken in by my aunt and uncle when I was 3 years old, and they brought me up as a Methodist. Like, where's the struggle? What's gonna bring anybody to Jesus with? I bet you I didn't tell that. I bet you I didn't tell that. I bet you I said something like, but I didn't really believe. And then as a teenager, I started drinking sometimes, and, because every teenager fucking does. And I started, being promiscuous. And then I realized I needed Jesus. You know what? No, I was indoctrinated when I was 3 years old. And any time that anything went bad in my life, I turned to Jesus, whether it was I couldn't find my car keys or I thought I might be drinking too much. Of course, I went to Jesus. That's all I knew,
Yeah, my
Thank
testimony.
you, doctor.
I'm learning that my personal testimony is very like it's something I am deconstructing in itself, like the amount of self-hate and almost like almost like a homophobic type of mindset that I had, in order to go into this God and in order to make some of the crazy decisions that I made, I had to have this type of self-hate and this homophobic type of mindset. And it's so embarrassing to admit it now, because I thought that it was normal then. And I thought that, what I was imagining was reality. And not only did I think it was reality, but like there was times in my Christian walk that I went to other queer people like, you could do this too, the way that I am, and I look back at that and I'm just like, oh my goodness, look what you did, and Christians would think that I was doing a good thing. You were spreading the gospel. You were trying to save people from hell. But it was so harmful to the point that I recognized how much I had to dislike my own self to do some of the things that I did.
I feel like for me, you have an amazing deconstruction testimony though. Like, now I see our deconstruction stories as our true testimonies, right? Like they really are where we woke up. The other ones we thought we were, so we faked it because everybody did around us. That's all we knew. But once we really, really understood the bullshit that was going on, that's our real fucking testimony. And yours is very inspiring to me. I just want you to know. And I love you. I want you to know.
I appreciate that.
I don't know
Thank
if this
you.
helps either, but like that embarrassment that you feel, like try and forgive yourself, because that's not you. That wasn't you that was doing that. That was the system. That was the indoctrination that's doing that. It's not you personally. Like, I mean, it's wild how many people, like say the same kind of thing. But I think like as soon as you like are able to accept that, that isn't personally like something that you were doing, that you might be able to like, kind of let that kind of guilt go away. Because just as a gay guy that's been told by plenty of Christians, even like in the closet Christians, like this is what you should do, try and all of that. It just rings so hollow to me. It doesn't even come across as like personal because of, how just by the book it sounds, you could just, it's somebody else's words coming out of their mouth.
Right. Yeah.
Can I say something to somebody in chat real quick? Cherie, I hope I said your name right. The rabbi has just given you a great verse, but also in Exodus 28, 17 through 20, is the earliest major list of stones used to represent the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12 tribes of Israel have crystals that represent them. Crystals are not evil. Crystals are not evil. You know what's evil is thinking that everything is evil. That's fucking evil. That's who's evil. Is somebody who goes around going, oh, that's evil, that's evil. It's judgmental and evil because it's in the Bible. And the fact that these people don't even know that crystals are very prevalent in the Bible, I get upset about this because my whole life I was taught that crystals were evil too, and I never had any crystals because of it. And my name is Crystal, and that made me sad because I wanted crystals, but I wasn't allowed to have them.
Aww.
And so as an adult, I now have things like a crystal ball, which I wasn't allowed to have as a young Christian girl. And now I have other crystals too, like amethyst and rose quartz and tiger's eye and onyx and all kinds of beautiful crystals. And it's so stupid that they say those are evil. So
okay, well, so in their defense, I'm sorry, Crystal, but do you remember in like the 90s and maybe like the 80s and 70s, like those crystals that people were like dangling under their mirrors in their cars? Like they were like, they were like, they look like, I don't know, teardrops, or they would look like, like octagonal 3D figures. And those would like reflect sunlight into like other drivers' eyes and cause like wrecks. So, okay, now those crystals were kind of evil.
That might be a little
Demonic.
dangerous, but it's not evil, okay? It's not evil.
Yeah.
It's just dangerous. And we do have to understand how light works. And you know how you learn about how light refracts when it enters a crystal? Through science, not the Bible, baby. It's not going to tell you anything. You got to learn about that through science. And then it won't shine in your eyeball.
All jokes aside, though, like evil involves intention, right? So crystals don't have intentions. I mean, other than CrystalJae has good intentions and only good.
Yeah, only good. Only. Yeah, what he said.
Good is subjective.
Don't I recall a dark crystal somewhere?
What? I've never heard
Must
of
be
that
referring
before.
to the movie masterpiece from the 80s is all I'm thinking. So.
Yep. I actually have a shard that looks like it came directly out of that crystal. I'll have to take a picture of it sometime.
Oh, cool.
But it looks just like it. Yeah, it's really neat. But Rabbi, so what you missed was a Jewish man by the name of Yaakov. He said he's Orthodox. He claimed that the Old Testament, God.
He's coming up. He's coming up.
Okay.
Let's give. Okay, give him a second to load so you can hear the whole story.
Okay, so he claimed what? Sorry.
So he claimed that women in the Bible, the Hebrew Bible, were of equals to men. And then Crystal had started mentioning some things, and I can't remember how we got talking about it, but she was quoting some things that Rabbi Hannah was saying, and he went, a female rabbi. And I'm like, oh, here we go. And then he couldn't believe for the life of him that we also had a man rabbi who backed up Rabbi Hannah. And he was like, well, bring him in here, because he couldn't believe that you existed.
Sorry, I was doing professional things.
I told him that. I literally said that. I said, well, he is a real rabbi, sir, so he might be doing actual rabbi things. Wouldn't that be wild? But the thing was that he also said, because from the moment he came up, the entire time he was up here, he was trying to make it seem like we were persecuting him. And I said, oh, so I see you like being persecuted and you're sad because I'm actually not persecuting you and you want me to be persecuting you. He'll see, that's anti-Semitic. And I said, no, I'm saying that because you're a man. And you know how many men I get that come up here and want to be persecuted by me? And he goes, nope. And he goes, I bet your rabbi friends wouldn't like this. I go, my rabbi friends know me very well. They know exactly what I think and they know how I talk.
What was his claim of persecution? What was the?
He was claiming that we were misandrous, but he didn't know that word, so he was calling us misogynists, but he meant misandrists. And he was saying that.
Sorry, Crystal.
Go ahead, Nick.
It was because I told him that if I'm seeking religious counsel or counsel as a woman, I'm not going to go to a man. I'm going to go to another woman. And he was like, so you're a misogynist. You're a racist misogynist. I'm like, the fuck is happening right now?
And then he said that before I was anti-Semitic for saying that he wanted to be persecuted, I was anti-Semitic because that sometimes you and I don't see eye to eye on something in scripture, but I tell you how I feel and you tell me how you feel. And he said that's anti-Semitic because like I
gotta tell you, it sounds like a fake. Like it sounds like somebody who like. You know what I mean? That sounds like I don't know. Like I obviously wish I would.
Mateo knew him.
Mateo also listed off his rabbis.
Rabbis.
One of them was a Proud Boy who got kicked out of the Proud Boys because he whistle blew them from the January 6th thing.
He blew them? What did you say? Just kidding.
But he literally said at one point, basically it was schoolyard. My rabbis are gonna come for your rabbi.
That is
this
a thing.
This is what he said. He said that his rabbis were going to talk to you and Rabbi Hannah, and after they got done talking to both of you, you guys would unfollow me. That was what he said. Because I'm anti-Semitic.
Yeah, it was weird. First, I'm with you, Bert. Like, I was like, is this a psyop? Is this? Is this like somebody posing as a Jewish person to like make Jewish people look bad?
Yeah, I did. I thought he was a Christian. I even told him, but Mateo is the one who told me. I go, I actually think you're Christian posing. I really do. The way you're talking, the way you want me to come at you, and the way you want to feel like I'm persecuting you. I thought he was a Christian man. They do it to me all the time. They want to feel like I'm persecuting them. Christian men love it. And he sounded just like that. And Mateo's the one who told me, no, he really is Jewish. I know him. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I brought Mateo up. I was like, okay, well, yeah.
But the moment Mateo came up, he ran because he knew he was going to get called the fuck out.
That's right. He ran. And then a little bit later, he went down in the comments and he was like, so where's your rabbi? So he was like, come at me, bro, in the comments.
I will say people will cite their rabbi. People will like appeal to their authority. Like, you know, right. First of all, sorry. And
you don't have to apologize.
You're fine.
You know,
I just want to know that you won't let those rabbis make you unfollow me. You're my friend, so don't do that.
Yeah, I don't. No, first of all, like, I've had great conversations with people in the decon community who have posted things not realizing that there were anti-Semitic undertones, and everybody's so receptive. Like, people don't want to be hateful. People don't want to be supremacist.
No.
People want to just do the right thing. I don't think, I've never experienced, well, there's been a few times that have been like questionable. And look, here's the thing. This is the internet, okay? If I have any expectations of anybody on the internet, that's a problem with me. I'm perfectly safe. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing that's whatever, for the most part, I guess. Yeah.
But also, I hope you know me well enough that you could say, hey, Crystal,
oh, totally.
did you know what that word means? And please don't use it again, or don't use that phrase, or don't talk to somebody like this or that or the other thing. And I would totally be open to that, because that's actually my character. That's my real character.
A, 100%, and B, like, if the intention is to learn and to grow, like, who could be offended by words?
Right.
You know, words that were not intended to harm or tear down or whatever. Like, you know, like, let's talk about intent and impact, you know? Everybody just take a deep breath.
Sure, he was already up here, and he acted like a misogynistic DICK. He was trying to call us racist and misogynistic because I said I would rather go to a woman rabbi than a man for woman problems. He was very nasty, like very nasty, and he looks down on the fact that we have a woman rabbi. Well, actually, she's my professor. He looks down on the fact that she is a woman and a rabbi, was questioning all of her credentials, which is not...
You know who else he questioned? This is how it got started, Bert. I had brought up the book, hang on. It's the book you recommend to me. Let me find it. Hang on.
Judith. He's not misrepresenting the group. He was misrepresenting himself.
Yeah, I was talking about that. I said, you know, so I'm a Christian, and he was basically telling me, no, God, you know, that's not how God is. God loves everybody equally. And I said, well, I'm not the only person who feels this way. He goes, yeah, but you're coming from it like at a Christian aspect. And I said, well, no, there are women who are Jewish who feel this way too. And so I brought up Judith and her book, and I explained what the synopsis of the book and stuff. And then he tried to discredit her, basically telling me, like, you know, she's nobody, so who gives a fuck what she has to say? And so I read off her credentials, and then we started talking about Rabbi Hannah, and then he was telling us she's not a real rabbi.
Like, you know, at a certain point...
Crystal, look at the comments. Look at the comments. Somebody else is telling on him right now. Even
Oh
though
my
he
gosh,
claims
that's
orthodox,
funny.
he's not
He's
observant.
selectively orthodox, is what it sounds like.
That's
Selectively.
funny.
Like I
Oh
think
That
my
is
god.
funny.
the ideal of Jewish discourse is pluralistic, which is to say that it holds multiple levels of observance and traditions and philosophies of Judaism at the same time. And like I can speak to orthodoxy in the same way that I can speak to reform and conservative and reconstructionist and secular and whatever. Like you have to be able to hold all these multiple perspectives and like understand that like, well, that might not be my perspective. Certainly this is a legitimate and valid perspective that somebody has put a lot of effort into, and like to deny that there are women who are clearly experiencing Judaism through a lens of misogyny, like it is absurd to think otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. And then this is what he said. He said that he said he said something else about me being anti-Semitic because I know, I said no, I don't think that Rabbi Bert and Rabbi Hannah are gonna stop following me or being my friend, because of your rabbis. That's not gonna happen because they know me. They know my actual character. They know who I am. And he said, see, that's anti-Semitic. You're talking for the Jews. I said, I'm not speaking for the Jews, and I'm talking about what I believe my friends would say as friends, not as Jews. And he goes, they are
Actually,
Jews,
you're
so
speaking
you're
to the
speaking
relationship.
for them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I'm
speaking
not
to the
speaking
relationship.
about right. Like, what are you talking about? And he was like, nope, that's anti-Semitic. You're speaking for the Jews. And I'm like, okay. What can you do with that? You know what I mean? What?
I'm not the Lorax. I don't speak for the trees. Like, come on.
You're funny.
Like it's what we're taking from the Bible and what the Bible is saying. That doesn't mean we're speaking for the Jewish people. We're speaking on behalf of us who have fucking read it.
You actually, I will tell you something. When I talk about you guys, and I was telling the story of Miriam, Rabbi Bert, this past week I've been talking about it a lot because I saw a lot of more things in the story than the last time you and I spoke about it. And I was telling the part about where you told me about them being racist and her turning white from the
I think I popped in like very
from the
briefly
leprosy.
during that. Yeah, uh-huh.
Okay, and I literally say when I tell this, I say, I am not saying that Rabbi Bert said that this is what this means. I don't even remember where he got it, and I'm sure that it's just he is retelling what just one way that it's been looked at, and that is all I'm sharing with you. So, like, obviously, I don't try to speak for you as a Jewish man. I do not do that. That's just not who I am.
I have never felt that you speak for me. I have never felt any sort like Crystal. You have nothing to explain. I think. Look, here's this is how I would frame it, Crystal. If you are aligned in your thought and your speech and your action, any conflict that that person is having is their own.
That is a good way to look at it. That's a
that's
really
how.
good way.
I interrupted Benny also at some point. I apologize, Benny. Also good to see you, Benny.
You're forgiven. I forgive you. No, the point I was trying to make to him was, like the way that I've been trying to understand, like Judaism is that it's not, it's a living thing. It's growing. It's always being discussed. It's, like women rabbis are a newer, type of thing, but it's not completely, I don't think doctrinally like wrong in any way. Maybe like to some orthodoxy, like to some people it is, but overall, I think like the conversation's still being had and it's growing. So that was like the point I was trying to make to him, but it was falling flat.
Yeah. So, like historically in Talmud, there are certainly women. There are women prophets in the Tanakh. There are women who are like ostensibly rabbis in the Talmud, like Rabbi Meir's wife, Berea. And I think it is really only with the Middle Ages, like the medieval law codes and responsa, that this kind of misogyny really. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was misogyny throughout the text. I'm not trying to say that, but like the notions of like women being able to sing publicly, or like the like from a religious standpoint, the idea is that women are already spiritually fulfilled, and so that there's no actual obligation on women to do any of the time-bound commandments. Um, we can talk about that until we're blue in the face. That's just like the
Yeah.
you know. I think that it's a ridiculous thing, but like we can talk about it anyway. So that's I think the basis for this misogyny is that there's not an obligation to participate in the communal aspects of Judaism, and therefore are cut out from the conversation itself. And I think that's kind of like you're saying, that's part of the thesis of standing again at Sinai. Like if women are not obligated, then what is the role of women? Like you might say that they're spiritually fulfilled, but what the fuck does that actually mean? Like what's the value of that?
Yeah. And for people like me, like I've told them, like, you know that I don't believe these scriptures, and we still talk about them and everything, I just see it as another reason not to believe in this God. What God would leave half of humanity out of a covenant? Not a God that loves me, certainly,
Right.
And what God would punish Miriam but not Aaron, Rabbi? How come Aaron wasn't punished?
In Christianity, I'm not trying to compare the two, but like as Christianity, I wouldn't say is evolving, but like you see more, women that are preaching in the church, like I think that it should be definitely put onto the table for the Jewish faith also to allow women to not allow, but like, let women be whatever part they want to be in that faith. If you want the faith to evolve and grow at all.
I have to ask, because I've come across some women pastors that still uphold the misogynistic viewpoints. The only reason they become pastors is because they realize that part where Paul said, I do not permit a woman to teach, was actually about a specific woman. So they've started preaching, but they uphold those misogynistic biblical values still.
I did. Of course I did. I taught, and I taught the pastor's wife and daughters and daughter-in-laws. I taught, and I still believed all that bullshit. I still did. I just thought
KJ.
that I had a gift.
KJ.
I do. It's called a gift for gab.
Gift for God. Oh no, I'm
He
sorry.
needs to come down there. I'm just saying, like
they say that you come across those women pastors, Nick.
Wink face. We all know it's not the women pastors, it's the nuns. Okay, let's just calm down now. Let's calm down.
What were you gonna say, Rabbi?
Oh, just that I think like the midrashic or like interpretive reason for Miriam being punished. I'm not trying to say that I stand behind this. I'm just going to give you the.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like I have to qualify it every time. Like,
I know.
Like, please,
you don't with me, but I get why you do it.
Yeah. Well, I also like. Yeah. Okay. Like, because this is a thing. Like, I think in Christian settings, like when the pastor says something, they're saying it with authority, and I'm saying it as a point of discussion.
Right.
And
that's why before I say what you say, I do my whole disclaimer. I'm like, now I'm not saying that he's saying. Okay, go ahead. And Casey, good to see you. Okay, what's the midrash?
So, yeah, Miriam is listed first, so she's the ringleader. She started it. So it's like,
I did read that. I think I read that. And then Rabbi Hana told me this cool. Again, I'm not saying she's saying this, okay? And also, I'm not good at repeating what she said because, like, she gave a lot of detail, and so it's on my YouTube if you want to know what she actually said. But she was talking about how Miriam was a priestess, and that
She was a prophetess.
and that like
Maybe she meant prophetess because Miriam is called a Nivea when they go across the sea. So like they do the Exodus, like walls of water, Charlton Heston, all that stuff. And then on the other side, God calls Miriam a prophetess. But the prophecy is about her.
I think that she was actually saying that there are stories that Miriam was a priestess, but they didn't want it to like be like that or something, so the narrative changed, is what I believe she was saying. I have to go listen to it all again.
There was a book, I can't remember who wrote it, and she was quoting the book that the cleansing ritual that Miriam had to go through was the same cleansing ritual as the priest did.
Yep.
And
true.
that, yeah, and
True.
that they were covering up the fact that she was becoming priestess / prophetess, and putting a misogynistic take, because that would have been like horrific if she was at the same level as her brother.
Yeah.
Well, it is true that the priestly purification ritual is the same as the leprosy purification ritual.
So here's the thing for me, though. When I look at Occam's razor, like Occam's razor makes things so easy for me, because I go, is it more likely that some misogynistic dick wrote this book to make all women look like nothing, you know? Yeah, that's probably more likely. That's what happened. So just some men were just like, let's always hold these women down in this book. I have to use the mezzo razor. That's just too sharp, petty fog. I can't use that. I don't even remember Mezzo's razor. I cannot remember what it is, actually.
Mezzo's razor is like, if it sounds unbelievable, then it's then you can just
Oh, yeah,
toss
you don't
it.
have to, yeah, you could just toss it. Yeah, that's true. That is Mezzo's razor. I'm sorry. I really only know Joel's wet box. That's the only thing I'm really familiar with.
Yeah, I think I said it wrong, but it's like, yeah, if it's like a talking snake is impossible, then yeah, you could probably just toss it or something like that.
You don't have to believe things that are impossible. Okay.
This is so interesting. So the Midrash says, sorry, you've just put me on a rabbit hole. I'm trying to prepare
I
for
love
the
it.
7
I
o'clock
love
class.
it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, no, it's great. The Midrash says that when God called Moses, Aaron, and Miriam to the tent of meeting, it is the place reserved for the priest. And so if Moses and Aaron are being called to the tent of meeting, Miriam is also being called. And so the pillar of cloud comes down, it stops at the entrance of the tent of meeting and calls out Aaron and Miriam. The two of them stepped forward to the entrance of the tent of meeting. Now she is about to enter, and if you go back to Leviticus 8 and you look at the purification ritual for the priests, that's exactly what's being discussed here. It's literally recapitulating. I gotta reach out to my, hold on, I'm pulling out my book. Hold on.
Okay.
God
We're
damn it.
holding on.
I love it when we send, the professionals down rabbit holes. It's always funny.
Me too. And I don't know, but I think that it reinforces the fact that if you've got questions out there, don't think your questions are stupid, because I still come up with questions that make them go, hey, I have to look deeper into that. I didn't consider that or see it that way. Ask your questions.
I used to do it to Biblical all the time. It was absolutely hilarious when I would ask him a question and he'd be like, yeah, and it's like he's completely stumped. I'm like,
Yeah.
We had only known each other.
I love having these spaces now.
Yeah, me too.
Sorry, do I have a delay?
So many questions. A little teeny bit, but not bad.
Can somebody send me a message to look at this Would somebody mind sending me it? Okay, thank you, because I want to look this up, but I don't have my a women's commentary with me, which is where the place that it would most likely be. It's not in this office.
You know what?
It's in my other
I'll
office.
do it. Will you look on Discord if I send it to you on
Yep,
Discord?
I turned on notifications for Discord. Thank you.
All right.
You're awesome. Thank you. If it doesn't get written down or sent to me, I'm like, it doesn't happen. It's just not. It doesn't exist.
That's the same with me.
I said, look up the Miriam stuff, okay? That's your little message for me. All right, you guys, listen, I've really enjoyed being with you all today. Unless we hit that in the next, like, I'll give you 6 minutes, then I'm going to go ahead and log off, and we can go and raid Trust But Verify, all one word, Trust But Verify. He is streaming on the Deconstruction Junction, so if you're over on the Deconstruction Junction YouTube, he's streaming over there too. And if you're over on my YouTube, he is Trust But Verify over on YouTube as well, so you can raid him over there. But I need to eat some lunch. I'm kind of hungry, and yeah. But I've had a really good talk today. I wish we could have talked to more Christians. Lately, all I get is angry men, and they don't like me, and so they don't stay for long. Sorry about that, you guys.
Notice, like, when I used to do the topic that women were not safe in the church, and I wonder if you noticed it too, it was only ever men that came up and spoke. It was never women. Do you think it might
Oh, yeah, I've been talking about that lately. I've been saying that I think that women don't talk to other women because they are taught that we can't teach. We are not smart enough. They don't. They think so low of themselves. That's what they see talking to us, and they think we're witches.
Right. They don't want you to get into their heads. Right.
Yeah, do you think it's also a fear thing too?
Yeah.
That what we're saying is ringing a bell with them, and they're just scared to bring up what they're going through? It's just curious that so many ever men speaking on behalf of women, like they know shit.
You want to know why the men are mad when they come up and talk to me? Because I'm educating their women, and they don't fucking like that, and they get mad. They're mad.
They don't like it.
They're like, you know what? I don't want you to go around and remind my wife and my daughters that the God of the Bible forgot to put their names in the fucking book. He only did like 5% of the whole names in the book are women. I don't want you telling my wife and daughters that he told men to sell daughters as slaves that never get to go free. Never, ever, ever. No, I don't want you telling them that.
No.
Yeah, they don't
we
like that.
don't. No, we don't want you pointing out the fact that women are our property. We don't want you knowing. My wives or daughters know that. No.
But you guys, thank you so much for being here. Let's all go raid Trust But Verify. I will see you all tomorrow right here. We're going to try running some of the same things. Now, listen. If we don't get somebody in like maybe the first 15 or 20 minutes, I'll change it back to what if you are wrong. That seems to get some Christians to come up and talk to us. But I do want to try that the women and children are not safe. But we'll see how it goes. Okay. But thank you all for being here. I love you. Have a great